community
prevents child abuse, too. High-quality, affordable childcare,
paid family leave,
school breakfast and lunch programs.
All of this prevents child abuse.
It's all about keeping families out of crisis in the first place.
At least 1 in 7 children in the United States have experienced abuse or neglect in the past year. Prevent Child Abuse America promotes policies, programs, and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
we prevent child abuse
from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more.
That's preventchildabuse.org.
Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 45 degrees, Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Person who died after being struck by a pickup truck early Saturday morning in Washington, PA, has been identified as 51-year-old Stephen Elliott of Washington. Washington County Coroner hasn't ruled out that Elliott may have suffered a medical event prior to being struck by that truck. Driver of the pickup truck got out of the truck in the 800 block of Jefferson Avenue, thinking he had struck an animal, only to learn it was a human, and Elliott. Washington Police Department is investigating the incident. Well, 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a dog. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. for a disturbance when a dog bit the officer in the leg. That officer fired one shot at the dog, striking the dog. Dog was transported to a local veterinarian. Officer was taken to a local hospital. Dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, the news of the planned partnership between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel, which was announced and backed by President Trump, is still reverberating around the region. Jason Ritchie is the chair of the Allegheny County Republican Committee. He joined KDKA Radio's Rob Pratt earlier this morning.
Yeah, I think this is the greatest economic news that Pittsburgh's had in decades. People need to realize that this could create in our area 12,000 new jobs. We're talking about $3.5 billion to revitalize the Mon work.
Trump said there would be no layoffs. Workers would each get a $5,000 bonus, and there would be $2.2 billion in investments in just the Mon Valley alone due to the partnership. Well, today is the Pittsburgh Pride March and Parade, kicking off downtown around noon today near the Greyhound bus station, and then proceed down Liberty Avenue, make a right on 7th Street, continue across the Andy Warhol Bridge, and proceed to Allegheny Commons Park West for the Pittsburgh Pride Festival. Now, last year's Pride weekend attracted more than 260,000 people to the festivities. That set a new record. The parade itself last year saw more than 100,000 people attend or participate. KDK Radio News Time is 7:03. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series presented by University of Pittsburgh announces its 25-26 season at Heinz Hall. 7 events will broaden your perspective and deepen your understanding of the world around you. Featuring Dr. Anthony Fauci, Malcolm Gladwell, historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, and National Geographic photographer Christina Mittermeier. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings sunshine much of the time and a breezy and less cool end to the weekend with a high of 66 ahead of a clear and rather chilly night for tonight with a low dropping all the way down to 44. That sets up for another warmer day tomorrow with hazy sun and a high of 74. With more hazy sun, warmer Tuesday, high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's time to get greened. Doug Oster is here. All natural, no pesticides, no artificial ingredients. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Before we do a little rock and roll hoochie coo and look back at the life of an incredible guitarist, one of Doug's all-time favorites, of course, he wants to discuss Rick Derringer. Let's make it the 10th caller right now, and that person will win a $25 gift certificate to Sorgel's out in Wexford, 412-922-1020. We have a makeup edition of Davy Tree Talking Tree. That's about a half hour away. We have time to take your gardening questions as well at 866-391-1020. Before we dig in the dirt, let's talk about Rick Derringer, rock and roll hoochie coo, passing away at the age of 77.
Well, I saw Rick Derringer in August of 1977. The bill was Jay Giles, Rick Derringer, Bob Seger, Night Moves had just come out, and Peter Frampton.
Wow.
Frampton was pushing his new single, I'm in You. Blech. And I'll never forget the Derringer performance. Out of all those bands that came on, Derringer blew him off the stage.
What was it yuck for? You didn't like Peter Frampton's I'm in You? Okay. Oh, no,
That was a single that was released trying to capitalize on the success of
Impossible,
the live album. And even Hill will tell you today, like, I shouldn't have rushed that single out. That wasn't a great song. But anyway, Rick Derringer started the McCoys in Ohio. He's another Ohio boy. If you were a band that was touring and you were in Dayton, his band would open for you and then would back you up. And so 3 producers had got together. They had a little hit with a song, and they were touring the country looking for somebody who looked like the Beatles to record this song. At the time, it was called My Girl Sloopy. It was originally released in 1964. And so these guys come through. The McCoys had just bought Beatles suits and had the hair. And Rick Derringer was 17 years old. These producers talked to his dad and said, hey, we want to bring these guys to New York and record this song. And so they did, and they brought him to New York, and they gave him a contract. The father had to sign the contract, and then they said, well, you know, this contract, we think that a lawyer should look at this. And they took him down the hall to their lawyer, who probably wrote the contract, and they signed it. And so that was the start. They had a #1 hit with, then changed it to Hang on Sloopy. And an incredible musician. The McCoys then backed Johnny Winter. And so Johnny Winter's management wanted him to break out of just doing the blues. And so they wanted Derringer to write the song. And Derringer was thinking, well, if you want to do rock and roll, I'll have rock and roll in the title. He goes, what else can it be? And he's like, he added the blues thing. Hoochie Coochie was from Hoochie Coochie Man. Was
Muddy Waters.
Yeah, Muddy Waters. And so that's how it came up. And then the lyrics, Derringer explains, are all things that he experienced. And so that was how it started. Then re-released that single on Blue Sky Records a couple years later, and that was his big comeback hit, but played on Steely Dan albums, all sorts of stuff, and then produced
Weird Al.
6 of Weird Al's, and plays the solo, like the Eddie Van Halen solo on the Eat It. Yeah, that's wow. Rick Derringer.
No
and so,
so good.
Go look on YouTube and look at some of the amazing things. There's a a version of Frankenstein with Edgar Winter. He had played on Free Ride and Frankenstein. There's a version on YouTube of Frankenstein, which is just amazing. And there's stories about Frankenstein. They originally Frankenstein was 20 minutes long, and the record company didn't want it. They put it out on an album. AM stations started to take it and make their own cuts so they could put it on the radio, turn it to a 3-minute song. And it gained traction, and then they went back in the studio and recorded that version of Frankenstein. Okay, enough rock and roll. I got a lot of gardening to talk about here. Today is the day. We are going to be at Sorgel's at 1 o'clock, and believe it or not, they had a frost up there today. This is unbelievable. We'll talk about the weather in a minute. So today, 1 o'clock, Sorgel's, the 23rd annual Doug Oster Plant Swap Giveaway and Garden Hullabaloo. I've been hearing from lots of people that are coming. I'm giving away free Limbaugh Legacy potato top tomato plants while they last. So be there at 1 o'clock. Pay my daughter $35 to dress up like a tomato, and she gives them away. She said it's crazy. I have lots of a plant called Nicotiana sylvestris. It is a flowering tobacco that gets like 6 foot tall with white tubular flowers that are fragrant at the end of the day. We are going to have so much fun. So the plant swap part of it, everyone just brings their plants. If you don't have plants, you can come. You get your tomato plant and see what's there. It's okay. None of these plants, they all have to go. We're not taking anything out of there, and so there's always plants left over. I'm gonna say it again. You've got to be there before 1 o'clock because the thing's over in 20 minutes, and it's crazy. And Randy also has some really nice onion plants for us that didn't get into the ground. So today, 1 o'clock at Sorgel's, come and see me. We're going to have so much fun. Now, this weather, I am already seeing blight on my tomatoes, and I had to put my tomatoes in really early before I left for London, just because I didn't think they'd make it in the greenhouse while I was gone. And hindsight's 20/20, but I should have just left them in the greenhouse and planted now. If you haven't planted your tomatoes yet, you are a genius, because this cold weather, tomatoes, peppers, they're going to hate it. They're just going to actually hate it. So let's talk about dealing with the blight. And so, number one thing, plant lots of different types of tomatoes. If you've already planted, hopefully you have some room left, because the other part of this is called succession planting. So the first thing, we plant our tomato. Let's say you haven't planted them yet. Plant it, put mulch down right away, because that's going to stop those fungal spores from splashing up. What happens is we get this cold weather and cold rain, which we've had. And these spores that are on the soil, they're always there. They splash up. They'll get onto the bottom of the plant. Then when that leaf stays wet, those spores get into the plant's system. And in June, July, when things get humid and hot, we start to see the bottom of the leaves turn brown spots and yellow. That's either early blight or septoria leaf spot. These are diseases that don't kill the plant usually, but they slow it down. And it's just because being in this cold weather. So we plant our tomato, we put mulch down right away to stop those spores. We remove bottom leaves, and so there's more space between the spores and the leaf, so it's harder to get on there. Then there's a great organic fungicide called Revitalize. It's from Bonide, and it's what we call biological control. It can't hurt you. It can't hurt the good bugs. It specifically targets the fungal spores and stops them from reproducing. And then the other thing I'm talking about is succession planting. And I'm always talking about this and planting later. I've left space in the garden to plant later. My last planting of tomatoes used to be July 4th. Now I'm going either further into the season because we have this long season now where you can put a tomato in, but you got to pick the right kind of tomato to put in at the end of June or early July. The reason we're putting them in late is because they love the warm soil, they love the warm air temperatures, and so we'll take a tomato that can put on a fruit really quickly, or a big tomato that's left at the nursery that already has fruit on it, and we will stick it in the soil, like I said, June 15, June 25th, June 30th, July 4th. Last year, my friend Dan Bowles, he made us have a contest where we planted sun golds on July 31st, and everybody who did that picked tomatoes by the end of the season. So if you haven't planted your tomatoes yet, it's when we warm up here in this week, okay to start putting them in, but like I said, save some space and plant later. And these July 4th tomatoes, they're never going to have blight because they're going to be in that warm soil and warm air.
Tell everybody who's coming up shortly.
Well, after our 7:30 news break, it's Rob Kruljek from Davy Tree Expert Company. We're going to talk about all this rain. We're going to talk about fungal issues with trees and basically look over the season.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back on the other side. We want your calls. Gardening. The rain is going to go away, going to warm up to the mid-80s by Wednesday, so it's time to get into the dirt, and it's time to get planting. The number is 866-391-1020.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Bucks defeated San Diego 5-0. Bailey Falter a strong 6 innings of work. Bucks and Padres again today out on the West Coast. 5:10 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. Pacers a winner over the Knicks last night, 125-108. Thus, they move on to the NBA final to begin Thursday against OKC. NHL, their final for the Stanley Cup will begin on Wednesday. Edmonton taking on Florida. Paris Saint-Germain have finally won it. That's right. For the first time in history, PSG lifted the Champions League trophy following a 5-0 win over Inter in Munich on Saturday, marking the most lopsided score in UCL final history. The Memorial, Scotty Scheffler, world's number 1 at 8 under with a one-shot lead over Ben Griffin heading into the final round. Riverhounds lost to Rhode Island last night, the final 1-0. On the clay at Roland Garros today, it's American Ben Shelton taking on the world number 2 player Carlos Alcaraz. And Nashville today, the site for NASCAR going for the checkered flag. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Hard at work for over 75 years, Dram watering tools have been the professional's choice for quality and durability. Now you can create the softest shower of rain with a Dram rain wand in your garden. Choose from 9 water patterns for a variety of uses with a revolver spray gun. And use a color storm sprinkler for a lush playground. Quality you can depend on for a lifetime. Dram, the professional's choice for lawn and garden. Available at a fine garden center near you. Visit us online at dram.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So, what's that about?
So, let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CARGO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free free Upside app and use promo code CARGO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CARGO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, went some gardening questions. Let's get going now. 866-391-1020. I had Trey Fulbright here today, First Alert Forecast, KDKA. He said May was an extremely wet month, man. We got just bombarded with rain.
Well, for us that are growing peas and lettuce and arugula.
You love it.
Yeah, and all those cool weather crops. It's been a boon when you've got things that only can stand cold weather, and spinach especially. I'm growing this spinach called Red Tabby, and really beautiful. And usually by this time it would be doing something called bolting, which means when it gets hot, it goes to seed, and it's trying to perpetuate the species. But, it looks so good now, and I've been picking lettuce every day. I'm growing Amish deer tongue, red Amish deer tongue, what's the other one? Another red one, and a couple others that are they're going nuts. I'm about to start picking peas. I had one yesterday. I'm growing a snow pea called Shiraz Purple Snow, which I just love. It has these purple flowers and then a purple pod, and I just love snow peas. That's all I grow, and I'm trying to think what else is going. But yeah, I spent most of yesterday working in the garden, which was great. I was supposed to go fishing, but all the rivers were blown out because of the rain, and it was way too windy to be on the lake. So I had to get all my garden work done. And I did a lot of transplanting. This is a good problem to have, but companies are always sending me plants. And I've had some plants sitting in the garden in like these nursery beds for years. I have a giant forsythia in there, or a couple, one little short forsythia. And so I dug those out, transplanted those. Yesterday was a great day to transplant because it was gray and rainy and cold. Put in 3 or 4 hydrangeas and sprayed everything. I'm doing a much better job at spraying the plants to keep the deer off. I use this product called Bob-X, and whenever I talk about Bob-X or some of these other products, I remind you this is not an ad for Bob-X. I don't get free Bob-X. I buy my Bob-X just like you do. There are lots of different things out there, and they all work to keep the deer off. But I'm telling you, when I spray that Bob-X on there, they are not going to be on there. I've got a plant that I featured in this week's In Doug's Garden by Davey Tree. It's called Mountain Laurel Nip Muck. And even though the buds are poisonous to the deer, the young ones don't know any better, and they will nibble on it, and you'll lose your flowers. And so I've been spraying that. But in this episode, this is really, if you've never watched In Doug's Garden, this is the episode to watch, because did you know there are 20-foot-tall hop plants growing on top of the David L. Lawrence Convention Center? We did a feature on that. They grow these hops to make a beer called Rooftop Hops, and it's for North Country Brewing. And it's a really cool story because the guy who runs the convention center, he contacted a high school friend when they went to school in Butler, and they partnered to do this, and it's the coolest thing. We went up on top of the convention center and shot drone footage. It's awesome. Then I also added in the show a personal tour of Sissinghurst Castle Garden in Kent, England. That's the furthest we've gone to feature a garden, and the video includes the famous White Garden. Also in the show, I'm planting my favorite hot pepper in containers. And that's another thing about what we're doing today at 1 o'clock. Afterwards, I'm sticking around and getting some peppers from Randy Sorgel. It's going to be amazing because I need to find some super hot peppers for a fishing buddy of mine. And so also in the show, Rob Kruljack, who will be on the show a little later on today, he tells us how to deal with invasives like barberry. You got to get rid of your barberry. It's a tick magnet, and I've got one growing in my garden, and he was just like, what is that doing here? So you can watch the video at DougOster.com. It's there right now, and the videos are 15 minutes long. You can scrub through them if you want to. Next week, we're looking at this unique, local, edible trail. An edible trail where anyone can walk and nibble on whatever's marked there to eat. Now, I want to talk, since I just got back from London, I do have seats left for my upcoming trip to Sicily and southern Italy. It's October-November trip, and we'll be visiting Palermo, Valley of the Temples, just all these different cities. And we're doing a wine tour and tasting in Sorrento, Positano, Pompeii, a farmhouse lunch. The wonderful thing about these trips is we get a tour manager who's from there. And just like in London, you got somebody who knows everything about the place. We'll have one in Italy, too. And you can see all the information at DougOster.com. There's also a webinar there which shows every stop. Now, when you're planting, don't rely on the internet. The other day, I was on the internet, and something came up about blossom end rot, which is another tomato issue. And blossom end rot, they were like adding Tums or telling you to add eggshells or Epsom salts. The thing you need when you plant is compost, okay? In the case of blossom end rot, which you grow the tomatoes, they'll put tomatoes on, and then before they're ready to harvest, on the bottom it'll turn black. That's not okay. Technically, it's a calcium deficiency, but adding calcium now is not going to help. The calcium's there. It needs water to take the calcium up to the plant. And so without good water, and we see blossom end rot a lot on container plants. People try to grow a tomato in a 5-gallon bucket, and you can do it, but you got to make sure that you keep water on that thing when we get to July and August, because the root system becomes so big that it's hard to keep it watered. I'm using 15 gallons minimum for peppers and tomatoes. And so the point is, use a trusted source for your information. I answer garden questions all day long. You just go to DougOster.com, you click on the contact button, and if you've got a question about some kind of problem you're having in your garden, just send it along to me. I get back to you very quickly. If you don't hear back within a day, it means I didn't get the question. And just don't be afraid just to ask again, and I'd love to talk to you. All right, after the break, we're going to talk to Rob Crueljack from the Davy Tree Expert Company all about this season and this cool weather.
All right, stay with us. Lots more still to come today. The Coons Cooking Hour. Frank is going to be live on the Metropolitan Window video screen by clicking on KDKRadio.com, clicking on KDK Watch. You can see him live in New Orleans. He's at a big food and deli show down there. We're going to be talking warm and cold pasta dishes. And then coming up at 9 o'clock, helping thousands get over neuropathy. It's Tri-State Neuropathy Center's Dr. Sean Ritchie. And then Accurate Solutions, then 2 hours at a Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show, including head basketball coach of Robert Morris University at 11:30, Andy Toole, today, right here with your Pratt Pack on KDKA. Good morning.
Spring planting is in full swing. Hi, it's Randy Sorgel from Sorgels in Wexford. When making your choice for quality plants, friendly service, and family reputation, we hope you choose Sorgels. Remember, not only do you get all of that at Sorgels, we have the farm animals, the bakery, the deli, ice cream, the gift shop, home accents, baby apparel, Naturally Sorgels gluten-free store, as well as Arsenal cider, and of course, there's Tiny Town. But if you are not able to get to Sorgels, please pick a family-owned garden center close to you, like the other advertisers in this show. Families care about you and need your support, and they don't sell washing machines. So please, thanks for your support to all of us and the other hardworking families in the gardening industry. Sorgels, 724-935-2090.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Larry Richard with Andy Amrine from Evie True Value Hardware Store. Thanks, Andy, for introducing me to Harmony Organic Insect Control.
Harmony is your first true organic insect control on the market, Larry. It's good for fleas, ticks, spiders, bedbugs, ants, everything. All those nasty insects that are living in your house, you now have an organic way of controlling it. Harmony Organic Insect Control.
Available at harmonyoic.com or Evie True Value Hardware Store.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 45 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a dog. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way. That was around 3:45 p.m. for a disturbance when a dog bit the officer in the leg. An officer fired one shot at the dog, hitting the dog. The dog was transported to a veterinarian in Monroeville. The officer was then taken to a local hospital. The dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, the person who died after being struck by a pickup truck early Saturday morning in Washington, PA, has been identified as 51-year-old Stephen Elliott of Washington. The Washington County coroner has not ruled out that Elliott may have had a medical event prior to being hit by the truck. The driver of the truck got out of the vehicle in the 800 block of Jefferson Avenue thinking he had struck an animal, only to learn it was Elliott. The Washington Police Department is investigating the incident. Well, news of the planned partnership between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel, which was announced and backed by President Trump, still reverberating around the region. And Jason Ritchie is the chair of the Allegheny County Republican Committee. He joined KDK Radio's Rob Pratt earlier this morning and expressed his excitement.
Yeah, I think this is the greatest economic news that Pittsburgh's had in decades. People need to realize that this could create in our area 12,000 new jobs. We're talking about $3.5 billion to revitalize the Mon work.
Trump said there would be no layoffs. Workers would each get a $5,000 bonus, and there would be $2.2 billion in investments in just the Mon Valley alone due to the partnership. KDK Radio News Time is 7:32. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
KDKA 1565.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings less cool conditions with a bit of a breeze at times and plenty of sun with a high of 66. Then clear and chilly tonight with a low of 44. Before hazy sun for tomorrow and an even warmer day with a high of 74. Then warmer still Tuesday with more hazy sun and a high of 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, I'll be back with you Monday. Is the Mon Valley on its way to being changed forever? Man, we'll find out on Monday. Big deals happening over there. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch up with you first of the week. Right here, KDK.
All right, 10th caller wins a gift certificate to Janoski's in Clinton. That's 412-922-1020.
And now, it's time for Talking Trees, a service of the Davey Tree Expert Company.
All right, Rob Crueljacket from Davey Tree is back. 2 weeks in a row, Rob. You got up early in the morning to talk to us. What's going on?
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah.
Nothing. Looks like a good weekend here.
So
yesterday.
So for most what I've been hearing is people are just like they're tired of rain and cold. And is this affecting the trees? Will it affect the trees, or is this a great thing for the trees? When I was driving in today, the forest looked amazing. It looked lush. Everything looked like it was about a month ahead of schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the weather's been great for the trees. Things are blooming pretty much on time as they should be. So, the amount of precipitation we're getting and everything else, the cool temps, things are doing well.
So no concern about fungal issues for plants, or are we thinking, gosh, with cold, wet, that we might see them?
Yeah, it's a good time to start looking for some, mushrooms developing on some trees. I was out yesterday and found some root rot on a big oak tree, and I had to tell the customer that it's time to take this tree down.
Yeah, what is that called? Actually, here at the studio, when Dick Till was, before he retired, he walked out of the studio and looked at the bottom of an oak tree and said something about a mushroom at the bottom. He said, that tree is dead or going to be soon.
Hey, well, that's the scary part about it. You can't really predict when that the diseased or the fungal problem at the base of the tree is going to be bad enough that the tree is going to fail and fall over, even though it's full of leaves and looks completely healthy.
So let's talk a little bit about planting. As I was saying, I did some transplanting yesterday because, it was a perfect day. Cool and rainy and no stress on the plants.
Right.
But we're coming up to a period where we're going to have some sunshine. It's going to warm up a little bit. Still a good time for planting trees?
We still have trees ready to go in the ground. We'll be putting them in here for the next month or so. So no problem there as long as you're diligent about your watering, at least a good 5-10 gallons once a week, if we're not getting rain, to keep those new plants happy and getting them established.
Is there a way to gauge if we're getting enough rain or not? How do we decide if we need, because I know how important it is when you have a newly planted tree and planting it in the spring, certainly when we get into midsummer, that to keep that thing watered all the way through. how are we deciding whether that tree needs water or not?
Well, the simplest test really, you can do like moisture gauges and meters and such, but, if you can take the soil near your tree, if you can form it into a nice round ball, like a piece of Play-Doh, right, and it doesn't crumble apart, it's good moisture content.
Okay.
You want to be able to form a ball and not let it crumble apart, but you also don't want to take that ball and be able to squeeze it and have water come out, because then it is way too wet. So like using a product like a gator bag, or some people have modify a 5-gallon bucket that you can fill up, and then the water just leaches out of that very slowly and puts a good soaking into that area of the tree. That's how you want to water.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just explain the gator bag. You and I know what it is, but not everybody might know exactly what it is. We see them around the base of trees, especially newly planted trees.
Right, yeah. They look like a green cone at the base of the tree. Basically, it's a bag with a little hole in the bottom of it that you can fill up, and it lets that water just leach out of the bag very slowly. When you water your trees, you don't want to just put the hose on at full blast, because the water will just run off the soil. You want a slow watering to like really soak that soil right around the base of the tree.
We've talked about it before, but let's run over some of the biggest mistakes that homeowners make when they plant their own tree, and what would be number one on your list of things that people do wrong?
Is that planting the tree too deep would be number one. And so, when you get your new tree, your new plant, you're ready to put it in the ground, the first thing you got to do is find the bottom of the tree. And that can sometimes be buried under some of the soil on top of your root ball. So you want to gently remove some of that soil on top of the root ball, or even on your potted plant, to find the bottom of your tree, and then put that slightly above the ground level that you're planting into.
Well, I was taught that early on by a Davy arborist, and I didn't understand that even if a tree comes from a nursery, you still might have to find that root flare, right?
Yes, exactly. The root flare. Yeah, it's the buttressing roots, like where the tree transitions from the trunk and the roots, the trunk to the roots, I should say. That's the spot you want to keep above ground. If you plant them too deep, you're setting them up for failure. Suffocation of the critical root zone there at the base of the tree, or the later on development of things like girdling roots that can grow around the trunk, and the tree basically strangles itself.
What do you do when you show up to a tree that's been planted wrong 10 years later? Is there anything you can do, or do we start new?
No, we can. We have a tool called an air spade, which uses like a compressor, tow behind compressor on a vehicle, that we can use air to like excavate the soil away from the base of the tree, expose the root flare, remove any girdling roots if they're found, or like the basket or the burlap that may have been left on, and then lower the grade around the base of the tree to the proper level. But without injuring the tree itself.
Well, I want to talk about a problem that I see all the time that drives me nuts. I'm sure it drives you nuts, is planting the wrong tree in the wrong place, and I see it a lot with new construction, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes it's the quickest thing that you can go in, and it'll grow the fastest, but a lot of times that's not the best tree. Fast-growing trees tend to be a little bit weaker, and maybe not as has the longevity of a slower growing tree. But yeah, they're just trying to put something in the ground to get some greenery right away.
And when it gets too close to the house or something else, and it's going to get too big, and 5 years later it needs to be removed. Don't spend all that money on a tree and not know how big it's going to get, right? That's another thing for people to know is, basically how big it's going to get. You just have to trust that plant tag that comes with it, or trust your arborist that, hey, this thing's going to get 40 feet tall. You don't want to put it right where your gutter is.
Right, exactly. Or right where the power lines are running, in front of your house. Because the power company is going to have to maintain their right-of-way at some point, and that tree that you invest all that time and money in is going to be, unfortunately, pruned back hard to keep away from the lines.
What are some trees that we should not be planting anymore that might be invasive, that might not be for the long term? Are there any trees out there that used to be planted all the time that you try not to plant nowadays?
Well, obviously we just added the Bradford pear to the noxious weeds list here, which is we're done planting those. They're inherently weak with their branch structure, and they also will colonize, in the wild and revert back to the calorie pair of the rootstock. And it will take over and spread like wildfire. You can see this in some newly developed areas where they begin to reestablish. Honey locust is another one that I think was really popular. A lot of times that has kind of lost a little bit of its appeal. Just because of the continual dead wood that they develop and the small leaves that they drop.
What was it about that? I guess it's just the spring flowers for the pear tree that got everyone excited about that tree when it was the big deal for, neighborhoods. They would put a line of those pears in, and then you'd have them growing everywhere, and then you get an ice storm, and they would crack in half, as they always do.
Yep.
What do you think? What was it that made it such an attractive tree in the day?
It was. And you have to say that when they bloom in the spring with those white flowers, completely covering the entire canopy, they are an attractive tree, and they're fast growing. So, but again, with fast growing wood, a lot of times there's weakness.
So technically, those legally should not be planted anymore, right? Because it's a noxious weed. You shouldn't be able to buy them. You shouldn't be able to put them in anymore. Is that right? Or do you think they'll still be meandering around in the nursery for a little while?
Until they run out, I'm sure they're still going to go in the ground, but certainly no one's propagating them for production anymore.
All right, Rob, hang in there. We're going to go for a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about trees. For more information about Davey Tree or to ask what's going on with your trees, go to davey.com/KDKA. And remember, you can always call the experts like Rob from Davey Tree at 855-982-TREE. That's 855-982-8733.
We'll be back.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
Hey, your Pratt Pack for the Janoski family and the farm. And it's official, strawberries are at Janoski. Special pricing for bulk quantities. 4 quarts, $28. 8 quarts, $52. And you can call the farm market today. They open at 8 and get those orders in. 724-899-3438, extension 2. That's 724-899-3438, extension 2 to place your orders for strawberries. Farm freshness 7 days a week. Janoski's, Route 30 in Clinton.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you better. Bucks defeated San Diego 5-0. Bailey Falter a strong 6 innings of work. Bucks and Padres again today out on the West Coast. 5:10 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. Pacers a winner over the Knicks last night, 125-108. Thus they move on to the NBA final to begin Thursday against OKC. NHL, their final for the Stanley Cup will begin on Wednesday. Edmonton taking on Florida. Paris Saint-Germain have finally won it. That's right. For the first time in history, PSG lifted the Champions League trophy following a 5-0 win over Inter in Munich on Saturday, marking the most lopsided score in UCL final history. The Memorial, Scotty Scheffler, world's number 1 at 8 under with a 1-shot lead over Ben Griffin heading into the final round. Riverhounds lost to Rhode Island last night, the final 1-0. On the clay at Roland Garros today, it's American Ben Shelton taking on the world number 2 player Carlos Alcaraz. And Nashville today, the site for NASCAR going for the checkered flag. More sports, 93.7thefan.com. Check out these hot savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank NTC?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. Fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $3.69 a pound. Sweet Southern Peaches, 99 cents a pound. And Schwabel's Bagels, English Muffins, or Texas Toast, 12 to 22-ounce packages, $1.99 each. Additional savings in our meat department. 85% lean fresh ground beef, $5.49 a pound. And farm-raised fresh salmon steaks are $10.99 a pound. In our produce department, extra large golden ripe pineapples, $2.99 each. And Fresh Express American, Italian, or Veggie Lover salad blends, 9 to 11-ounce packages, 3 for $10. In our deli department, Isley's chipped ham is $3.99 a pound, and Memphis-style pork barbecue dinners are $7.99 each. And this week, selected varieties of Sargento deli-style sliced cheese, 5 to 8-ounce packages, 2 for $6.
So get in on these hot savings right now at Coons Market. How do you find Coons Market, your neighborhood grocer, and the store nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
Doug Oster tells you how to keep it green. The Organic Gardener is on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, next hour, it's all about pasta, cold and warm dishes on the Coons Cooking Hour. But right now, back to Rob Kruljak, Davey Tree, continuing the Talking Trees segment with Doug Oster.
All right, Rob. So we've talked about planting. Now let's talk about keeping that tree happy. We've talked a little bit about watering. What about fertilization? Even not for newly planted trees, but I think that's something that people don't do enough of. And you've seen my trees. You know that mine need fertilizer.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have a quite wooded lot with, natural, leaf litter and decomposition to put, minerals and everything back in the soil. But, in our more urban forests, developments, new plants, there's really a lack of that. When things go in, they strip topsoil off for the construction and then put just enough down to plant some grass. But really, everything that your trees and shrubs and everything need that or would have in like a forest situation, they don't have in the urban new landscape.
So how do we fertilize those trees? What's the best way to do it? I've seen Davey do it, and I would love to get that done on my that Cherokee Princess dogwood. It throws a few blossoms, but What's funny is it is living in the woods. It does have the leaf drop, but I think it's just planted in a spot, and I didn't plant it. It's just planted in a spot that doesn't have what it needs, and I'd like to get the real fertilization. So how do you do it the right way?
A liquid fertilizer. The granular products, you can, put the stakes in the ground. You see some things at the different, nurseries and stores, stakes and like granular product. But we use a liquid fertilizer in suspension with water that's injected directly into the soil, 8 to 10 inches below the grade there, which is the best way because, it's already ready for the tree to uptake. It's a slow release fertilizer, so there's benefits throughout the course of the year after it's been fertilized. So really, really helpful.
And there's certainly benefits to having a healthy, strong growing tree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Keeping a tree healthy and happy, they have their own, defense mechanisms. They have their own immune system, but you got to keep the tree healthy and happy for it to be able to work at its, optimum level.
How old were you when you started to learn how to climb the tree as a professional?
I was 15.
Wow.
Right before high school, I had my first summer job was with a local tree company, and that's where I started down this long road to long road to the top of the trees, I guess.
And no worries at the time when you're young about like being up high and looking down. Like if it was me, I can't get on a stepladder. I don't like heights.
Well, when I found out that this could be a career of climbing trees, it was like, let me up there as soon as possible.
Well, I've seen you do it, and I know that safety is number one. Talk a little bit about that, about being in the trees and knowing that you're safe and what kind of training you get to do this job.
Yeah, at Davy, we take safety as our number one priority. It's on top of our minds. We discuss it daily. And so when you're in the tree, you have all of your personal protective equipment on. Your gear has been checked and inspected to make sure your ropes are clean and no abrasions and no cuts that could cause problems. You check your hardware out. Make sure there's nothing broken, nothing loose, nothing missing, because your life really is on the line when you're 75, 80 feet up top of a tree and you have work to do.
Do you ever think about when it's going to end? There has to be a point when you can't climb anymore. I mean, physically, I know it's a long way down the road for you, but there is a point when people stop climbing. I interview lots of Davy arborists, and they just like, well, it was time. It was time to supervise it a different way and not be up in the trees.
Right. I know a lot of old timers. They're still out there, getting some work done every day, and it's really, if you love what you do, it's really hard to stop doing it, I guess.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, about not just the love of being outside and being in the trees, but working with people, because that's a big part of your job too. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Between the clients and the people in the office and the teams, it's really a lot of times it's a spectator job, I call it. Where when you're at a job site working, a lot of times you have people out watching and really interested in the process. So, and that lets you engage with the public and explain what you're doing, what an arborist is, and why you're caring for the tree or how, and really kind of enlightens and it promotes good practices.
Good stuff, Rob. Thanks for getting up. We'll talk to you again soon. Yeah. For more information about Davy Tree or to ask what's going on with your trees, go to davy.com/KDKA. And remember, you can always call the experts from Davy Tree at 855-982-TREE. That's 855-982-8733. Now, meet me today, Sorgles, 1 p.m. We're going to do the big plant swap and giveaway. I've got tomato plants to give away, onion plants to give away. I've got a flowering tobacco that grows 6 feet tall to give away. If you don't have plants to trade, that's okay. I'd love to see you. We'll talk gardening. So today, 1 o'clock, Sorgles, would love to see you. Remember, organic gardeners, you make our world brighter and safer with each seed you sow and every garden you grow.
News next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Could be one of the biggest economic in the history of the region. Mayor of West Mifflin, Chris Kelly.
Well, as our dear friend used to say, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I actually shed a few tears. I felt such relief for the family. And I thank you for your continued support on this. As the people learned more about it, they got on. And that's thanks to people like you and your station.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
For a beautiful garden that's healthy and safe, use Dramatic Organic Fertilizers by Dram. It's the organic choice to produce brilliant fruits and vegetables that are healthy for your family. And because it's all natural, it's safe for barefoot fun and playful pets. Available at your local garden center or nursery. Ask for Dramatic Organic Fertilizers. Visit us online at dram.com. Dramatic Organic for dramatic results.
Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means a $100,000 savings account today could feel like $50,000 by 2031. And you see it every time you fill up your tank, buy groceries, or pay the bills. Prices are up. Your dollar is down. But there's a simple way to protect the value of your savings with something real, something proven. Gold. An asset that holds its value over time. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to protect your savings with physical gold or silver. No high-pressure sales, no call centers, just honest guidance, one-on-one support, and transparent pricing. And right now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold will send you a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar as a thank you. Head to noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career, or the right relationship.
but whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com today for limited time offers.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 46 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Three people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a dog. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. for a disturbance when a dog bit the officer in the leg. That officer responded and fired one shot at the dog, striking the dog. Dog was transported to a veterinarian in Monroeville. Meanwhile, the officer was transported to a local hospital. The dog's two owners and another person were arrested in Glassport after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, several people are facing criminal charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe Saturday in Ohio. New Swickley Township Police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing on Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road. But Saturday, she was found in the central Ohio area. New Swickley Police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident. No further details were given. News of the planned partnership between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel, which was announced and backed by President Trump, still echoing across the region. And Jason Ritchie, the chair of the Allegheny County Republican Committee, joined KDK Radio's Rob Pratt earlier this morning, expressing his excitement.
Yeah, I think this is the greatest economic news that Pittsburgh's had in decades. People need to realize that this could create in our area 12,000 new jobs. We're talking about $3.5 billion to revitalize the Mon work.
Trump said there would be no layoffs. Workers would each get a $5,000 bonus, and there would be $2.2 billion in investments in just the Mon Valley alone due to the partnership. Coming up today at noon, the Pittsburgh Pride March and Parade kicking off downtown. As mentioned, it will begin around noon near the Greyhound bus station on Liberty Avenue and proceed down Liberty, make a right on 7th Street, continue across the Andy Warhol Bridge, and proceed to the north side at Allegheny Commons Park West for the Pittsburgh Pride Festival. Now, last year's Pride Weekend attracted more than 260,000 people to the festivities. That set a new record. And the parade itself last year saw more than 100,000 people attend and participate, according to Pittsburgh Pride organizers. KDK Radio News time is 8:02. The AccuWeather forecast next.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings sunshine much of the time and a breezy and less cool into the weekend with a high of 66 ahead of a clear and rather chilly night for tonight with a low dropping all the way down to 44. That sets up for another warmer day tomorrow with hazy sun and a high of 74. With more hazy sun, warmer Tuesday, high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. This is the Coons Cooking Hour. The crew from Coons Market are here. It's the great food you grew up with and the recipes that make Pittsburgh someplace special.
All right, you need to go to KDKRadio.com and click on the KDKA Radio Metropolitan Window video screen by clicking on KDK Watch, because Frank Dentisi joins us from the Bayou, New Orleans. He's at a big food and deli show. We'll tell you about that in a moment. But today it's pastas of all kinds, warm and cold, delicious pasta recipes. And if you call in with a recipe, you could be taking home a $25 gift certificate courtesy of Coons Market. So, Frank, good morning. Great to have you back. And you look great. And obviously, it's going to be a busy couple of days for you. Why not begin by telling the audience exactly why you are in New Orleans and what you're doing? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, we're in New Orleans this week. It's for the IDDBA. We're here till Tuesday, and we're checking out new items in the industry and new trends that are in the industry, in the deli, in the dairies, in the bakery departments, and talking to vendors of those products, manufacturers, and being able to get some more connections out there for items that we like, and also ideas for different things that we can use in our stores as well. It's nice because these people travel around the country. They see all different kinds of trends anywhere in the country and the world. This is an international show, so you can actually get different ideas and taste the product before you even start to investigate and bring it into your market. So it really helps a lot. You know, there's more that probably about half the show is cheese, and you'll see all different types of cheese from all over the world. They have separated by where it's from. They'll have a whole section for the California milk. They have another section for Wisconsin milk. Then they'll have an international section with all the different types of cheeses that are imported, and be able to taste and talk to the people that produce the cheese, that market the cheese, and why different trends work and why different flavors they've discovered are working, and be able to bring those to market. And then all different types of salad ideas that you can see. So, and then today there's also speakers. Today we get to see Michael Strahan as a speaker. So it's kind of nice to even just take that little bit back, listen to people outside the industry and what they see as well. You know, everybody eats food, and, you know, getting their opinion is always neat to see too.
All right, listen, when I was growing up, deli was more about, you know, lunches and things of that nature, but the deli has expanded in so many ways, and no one does it better than Coons Market. It really has become breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the deli, has it not, Frank?
It is. just about anything you can imagine we create in the store. They started calling them grocerants. That's what you hear around the industry, grocerants, because we're not just grocery. We're like the restaurant food that you can take right home and be able to heat and enjoy inside your own home. Not just heat up in your home though. We sell a lot of hot foods. Beyond the rotisserie chickens, we sell different sides in our grab and go, and we have stores that are putting different things in there all the time, whether they have it just in their hot case or in the grab and go. And then we do our fried chicken every day, but swapping out meals inside our hot foods that you can just grab a nice meal, whether you're heading on your way home from work or you're just coming out and you have an hour for lunch during the day and you stop on in and pick up something to eat. Banksville McKnight, you can sit down in the cafe. In the future, you'll be able to sit inside the Bellevue Cafe and be able to just sit and enjoy a nice meal. So this is the way the trends have been going, and we continue to keep evolving and making sure that we're satisfying what the customer is looking for.
Cold pasta dishes, often called pasta salads, are popular for their refreshing flavors and make ahead of convenience much more simple when it comes to enjoying it for lunch or dinner time. Some popular options: classic Italian pasta salad. The salad combines cooked pasta with Italian dressing, vegetables like bell peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, and often salami, olives, and cheese. Greek pasta salad: olives, feta cheese, cucumbers, tomatoes, and lemon herb dressing. Salad offers a bright Mediterranean flavor profile. And the ever-popular antipasto pasta salad. This hearty salad is loaded with Italian deli meats, cheeses, and, well, all I can say is it surely sounds good. Man, hey, it's incredible what you can do with a trip to Coons Market when it comes to these cold pasta dishes. Frank.
Yeah, we have a lot of different pasta dishes. We have a spinach pasta dish. It's spinach, pine nuts, bow tie pasta, and it's absolutely delicious. It has a nice vinaigrette dressing with it. Nice and refreshing. It's not overfilling, those kind of things. And just looking for those different side dishes. If you have a meal tonight and just picking up a pasta side dish, or if you like to make your own, a lot of times in picnics, what I would see is the tricolor rotelli. You mix with Italian dressing, some cherry tomatoes, and add some cubes of cheddar cheese and some slices of that Hormel pepperoni that we sell. Absolutely delicious. Everyone loves it, including the kids. They pull the pepperoni out and enjoy it. You can add some extra vegetables in there like broccoli, just cut it up real fine. That's why I usually see out, and people bring the picnics. I love potluck picnics. People make all different types of salads and those kind of things. I mean, one of our top sellers, linguine salad. How easy is that to make? Whether you want it as linguine salad or you're making it home, you can switch over to a fettuccine. You can switch over to ziti pasta or penne pasta and make it completely different. It depends on what you like to have. There's all different types of pasta. And the nice thing about the pasta salads too, especially the vinaigrette ones, taking them to a picnic, the vinaigrette, using Italian dressing in them, or more of a vinegar-based dressing, can hold up in the sun a lot better than what a mayonnaise base can do. The mayonnaise will tend to separate. Now, of course, the mayonnaise you can bring, just making sure you keep it nice and cold. Keep the vinaigrette one cold too, but it's going to be less chance of separating and seeing all those the oils pop up. But perfect as a side dish for me for a wonderful picnic during the summer.
Any type of these salads that we're talking about, the cold pasta salads, the great idea why you want to take them to a picnic, because they don't last long. People will come back for second and thirds when it comes to any type of salad. Always a big hit. Always something goes more quickly than anything else at a picnic, because people know they can have a little bit more and not worry about the waistline so much. So there's a lot of healthy aspects to these cold pasta salads too, Frank.
Yeah, because you're controlling the dressing. Just some simple oil. Use a nice light olive oil. Use a balsamic vinegar and some Italian seasoning, or any type of seasoning you want to roll. But Italian seasoning is already blended for you. Shake that up. You can get that the night before, so it marinates some. Even some cloves of garlic in there will give it a totally different flavor. And you got your dressing. In your salad, you take that, mix that up, and it's there's not much bad in there for you. That depends what salad you put. But if you use a whole wheat pasta, you're getting a little bit of benefit of fiber there, and it's a lot easier, a lot better for your body for that than it would be on the white pasta. And there's adjustments you can make. Add some kidney beans or black beans into your salads to add a nice protein in there to keep you fuller. That's good for anybody, not just somebody who's watching their waistline. But that's a good balanced meal for anybody. A pasta salad is going to be only as good as you make it. And being able to make it fresh like that at home add in some things that'll help you out on if you're looking to watch what you're eating or how much you're eating, or if you have problems with having too much salt, you control the salt, especially if you're making your own dressing. So it can be very healthy.
Listen, I think so many different ways when it comes to these cold pasta dishes that we'd be here all night. You know, you can add some croutons for the crunch factor, even maybe take a teaspoon or two of 3-bean salad and mix it up with your antipasta salad. And when you want protein, you can get clean protein out of these cold pasta salads too, right, Frank?
Clean protein, you know, you have the lentils, you have beans that you can add in there, but you can also add in, you know, some nice fresh chicken breast that you pulled off of your rotisserie chicken. Or coming up soon in our stores, we're going to be having the pulled chicken breast already pulled for you, where you can just pick it up and go. No time to sit around waiting and making sure there's no bones in there or anything like that. We take care of that problem for you. So adding that to a salad, adding any of that to your pasta salads will give it a little more girth, a little more filling for you, better for you. Especially if you're out running around all over the place, that's going to be a good one. We have a lot of graduation parties coming up too, you know, and also don't forget whenever you're having these parties, if there just happens to be a chance there's some pasta salad left, if there's some left, you can always pack it up, get some extra containers for them, because, you know, whenever, and especially if you have like a spaghetti or a penne rigate, Rob here likes those spaghetti sandwiches, so he's going to want to take some home. Get some extra containers ready for him so he can have some breakfast in the morning.
Listen, last thing before we take a break. By the way, it's cold and warm pasta dishes. Get on the line. Give us a call from antipasta to linguine to your mother and grandmother's favorite sauce from scratch and spaghettis and meatballs. So call us, 866-391-1020. All of our lines are open. We'll get to your calls right after the break, and some lucky listener are going to get a $25 gift certificate. My all-time favorite salad, though, all-time chef salad. Going back when I was a busboy / maitre d', at the end of the night, about 2 in the morning, we'd have a chance to sit down and get something to eat. I'd always go for the chef salad. It was filling, delicious, nutritious, but it didn't make me feel sluggish. As I got home, had to do a little bit more work before I got up and did it all over again. I was a lot younger, but I acquired a taste for chef salads back in my late teens, and I have never lost that taste for a good chef salad, Frank.
It is good. Now, you know, you go to the deli and get a thicker slice of ham or two, thicker slice of turkey, or some hard-boiled eggs. Even if you want to pick up some of our red beet eggs for a little bit of a taste, you cut them into either half or a quarter. And that's what's going on your salad. Get some nice mozzarella and provolone shredded cheese. That goes for your very last topping. And then again, it's your choice, ranch dressing, or you can pick up your favorite dressing to put on there. It's delicious. It's a meal all in one.
Yeah, your brother-in-law, the husband of the CEO, Jody Zima, Jason, turned me on to those beet hard-boiled eggs. No pun intended, but you can't beat them, Frank. They're really good.
Oh, they're delicious. Making those at home, it's so easy to make. It's just waiting for them. Just some sugar, some vinegar, some onions, and some coarse beets, and put your eggs in there and just let them soak overnight in the refrigerator, and you're good for a while.
All right, good stuff. All right, Frank is in New Orleans, but he is with us on the Metropolitan Window video screen. You can watch this program stream live as you can all of our weekend and throughout the week programming. KDKRadio.com, click on KDK Watch. Now, this is where you enter the picture by calling with your favorite pasta recipes, cold and warm dishes. Get on the line, dazzle us, because you may be stirring up something good for you, like getting a $25 gift certificate before the hour is up. This is the Coons Market, of course, cooking show on KDKA. Stay with us.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So, what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 412-556-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 412-556-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Hey there, I'm Phil Briggs, Navy veteran and host of CBS Eye on Veterans weekly radio show and podcast. And over the years, I've loved sharing military stories with my neighbor Greg, a battle-tested former Army Ranger. He's a barbecue master and always welcomes us over. As it's Military Appreciation Month, Navy Federal Credit Union wants all active duty, veterans, and family to know that they're always eligible to join. Because at Navy Federal, our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Frank Dentisi and your Pratt Pack. He, of course, in New Orleans, big food show. He'll be there through the first part of the week, but he joins us now via the KDK Radio Metropolitan Window video screen. You can see the show stream live and in person by going to kdkradio.com and clicking on KDK Watch. Now, look, back in the day, our dads worked very hard, physical labor, and if they would have gotten an antipasto salad for lunch or dinner, they'd have said, hey, where's the sauce? So we have to take a little bit of time to talk about different types of pasta dishes with sauce. So let's just kind of throw out a couple here and get folks thinking a little bit. But you got to get on the line if you want to get that gift certificate. You got to call in with a recipe. Talk about baked ziti. Frank, go ahead.
Oh, baked ziti, yeah, your favorite red sauce, whether you're going to get a jar or can or your homemade, and just throwing your grated cheese. Cook your ziti like normal, so al dente, just that little bit under, and then put down a tiny bit of sauce in your casserole dish, put down that ziti, put the rest of the sauce over it, and some nice grated Parmesan or some Romano, or actually you can do it shaved or shredded up on top if you want it to look a different type of look, and throwing that in the oven and just baking it off. Let that heat go through about 20-25 minutes at 375. It'll get a nice crust on top of it. It'll get that nice taste all the way through it. And absolutely delicious. You can throw some mozzarella provolone if you want a little more stringy cheese being on top of that, and it'd be absolutely delicious. You can use a ziti. You can do a rigatoni if you wanted something a little bigger. We do a pasta with ricotta at home that my nana grew us up on, and it's basically like lasagna. You layer it like lasagna, but using mafalda noodles, which are a skinnier noodle. Has the same wavy pattern as lasagna, but just skinnier. You cook that off, you layer it like lasagna, the sauce, the pasta, the sauce, the cheese, and keep layering it up, and then you put your grated cheese on top and bake it off. The difference is when it comes out, you don't need like a casserole. You mix it together. The sauce turns nice and orange from all the ricotta cheese that you put in there, and it's absolutely delicious.
All right, let's talk carbonara, of course, and pesto pasta. Let's talk about those two. Go ahead.
The pesto pasta, making that sauce out of those herbs, the parsley, the basil, and the oil that's in there. and just throwing those through the blender and using that as your sauce. I'm not the biggest fan of a pesto, but a lot of people are, and they like that refreshing herby feel to it, that taste to it, that gives a different taste altogether. And of course, garlic. You got to have some nice garlic in there, or a nice pasta salad with the vegetables. The carbonara is where you're doing that in a creamy sauce, which is more like an Alfredo sauce. You make a white sauce and add your Romano or Parmesan cheese. And Alfredo sauce is surprisingly simple to make with the flour and the butter, season it up, and then putting in the Parmesan or the Romano. Nice and easy to make, and nice carbonara be a delicious pasta. Of course, serving hot. Best served hot. I don't know I never had it cold before.
Well, fettuccine Alfredo is really rich, creamy sauce made with butter, heavy cream, and Parmesan cheese. So that's something that'll clog up the artery. So you want to make sure your portion's a little small with fettuccine Alfredo.
You can spoil yourself now and then. Have a nice big old plate of fettuccine. It works well with chicken breasts as well, or doing shrimp and cooking the shrimp first, putting that up, and then you can always top it with the shrimp or mix it into the sauce as well. And again, an Alfredo is so easy to make. There are jars of Alfredo out there, but it's so easy to make and so much cheaper to make that way at home. Whether, you can use the heavy cream, but you can also get away with using a whole milk. Or if you're looking to cut calories, because it is a heavier sauce, you can use a skim milk. Now, it's not going to be as thick, but to compensate with that, you can add more of those grating cheeses, which aren't as bad for you because of the aging. Mm-hmm. And thicken it up that way, and then of course, careful with the butter. So there's ways to adjust the recipes when you're making things at home to make them to not just your taste, but your the demands of your own health of what you require to have and can't have. That's another nice and easy thing to do.
All right, spaghetti bolognese. Talk about that. Then again, folks, you want to get that gift certificate, cold and warm pasta recipes. Call us. Lines are available, 866-391-1020. Frank, it's all yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, the pasta bolognese, you're used to making a nice meat sauce with ground meat. Well, on the bolognese, you can either do a 50-50 on ground beef and ground pork, or not ground pork, but ground sausage. Or you can also just the ground sausage, brown that off and put it into your sauce, into whatever your tomato-based sauce is, whether you're going to use, I like to use a crushed tomato and then a tomato paste to thicken it up. And then then I'd be adding in the sausage along with that, seasoning it with the salt, pepper, and oregano, which is the basis of all my seasonings for sauce. And of course, some garlic in there. And what can't we forget, Rob? What can't we forget? We have to have meatballs. We have to have meatballs. So for a bolognese, if you mix your beef and your pork, you're still keeping with the same taste profile, flavor profile in there. So the pork and beef, and I take the meatballs and mix them up, and I put them into the air fryer. So I throw them on a screen. My oven at home has the air fryer option in it, but you can also have a regular air fryer. Just one of the ones that sit on the counter, and you can fry them in there. 6 to 7 minutes, they're done, as long as you're keeping a smaller, like a 1 ounce or under meatball. That browns the outside of them. Then you can finish cooking them off inside in the sauce itself. So long as you go a little under, not completely done. So in the sauce, they don't get overcooked. But when they get in the sauce, that flavor is going to also get through there. Plus, the meatballs are going to pick up the flavor of the sauce and get a little softer. So both sides work.
How about vodka sauce? That has become like top shelf. I mean, literally and figuratively, everybody loves vodka sauce. And even some of the major people who make the brand that is their named sauce, it's always vodka sauce out front. What has made vodka sauce such a phenomenon, Frank?
But starting to see it at restaurants. That's where a lot of trends end up starting. Is a chef out there puts it onto the menu somewhere on the restaurant, and then usually the Food Network picks up on it. Next thing you know, everybody wants a vodka sauce. I don't make a vodka sauce at home at all. The reason, I don't need to. I use a Giarusa one that we sell on the shelves. It's a lot easier. Just pick that up. So if I'm looking for a vodka sauce, that's the one that I pick up. If you like it a little bit creamy, you can add a little bit of heavy cream into it. But theirs has a nice sauce. It's not going to not going to empty your wallet out like some will try to, and just a great flavor. I always trust the Giarusa brand before all their different sauces they have, and also their pasta itself is a really good pasta. Especially theirs hold up very well for cold salads if you haven't tried it before.
All right.
the Giarrusa really holds up.
All right, let me get a break in here. Frank, tell them where you're at, Frank, and why you're down in New Orleans.
Down in New Orleans, looking at a deli bakery dairy show, checking out new items, new trends in the industry to bring back home to Pittsburgh and see if what we can do. We always got to keep growing and seeing what else is out there. So this is the best time to do it.
Deli, bakery, and dairy. You got to love it. How sweet it is. Short break. Come on now. Pasta recipes. We're going to talk to John on the other side. You want that $25 gift certificate. Cold and warm pasta recipes today on the Coons Cooking Hour on KDKA.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we're here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 47 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe Saturday in Ohio. New Sewickley Township Police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing on Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road. On Saturday, though, she was found safe in the central Ohio area. New Sewickley Police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident. No further details were given. Well, the person who died after being struck by a pickup truck on Saturday morning in Washington, PA, has been identified as 51-year-old Stephen Elliott of Washington. The coroner has not ruled out that Elliott may have suffered a medical event prior to being hit by the truck. Driver of the pickup truck got out of the truck in the 800 block of Jefferson Avenue, thinking he had struck an animal, only to learn it was a person, Elliott. Washington Police Department is investigating the incident. 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a pit bull dog. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. Saturday for a disturbance when a dog that was on a leash broke free and bit the officer in the leg. That officer fired one shot at the dog, hitting the dog. Dog was transported to a veterinarian in Monroeville. Officer was transported to a local hospital. The dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, the Food and Drug Administration has approved a new COVID-19 vaccine made by Moderna. Not a replacement shot, but a second option for all adults 65 and older, and for people aged 12 to 64 who have at least one health condition that puts them at increased risk from COVID. Dr. William Schaffner, a professor of infectious diseases at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, says,
this vaccine can be a lower dose because it's been more refined. It focuses more on the important parts of the virus that our body responds to and provides protection against COVID. It's a way vaccine scientists have updated the vaccine, have improved it to make it better for all of us.
KDKA Radio News Time 8:33. AccuWeather forecast on the way.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CARGO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CARGO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CARGO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings less cool conditions with a bit of a breeze at times and plenty of sun with a high of 66. Then clear and chilly tonight with a low of 44 before hazy sun for tomorrow and an even warmer day with a high of 74. Then warmer still Tuesday with more hazy sun and a high of 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program is paid for by Coons Quality Market. The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Frank is in New Orleans doing some business for that great brand that is Coons Market, but he is also stream live at kdkradio.com, Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on kdkradio.com and KDK Watch. And now it's time on this pasta, warm and cold dishes edition. Let's go to the phones. As promised, here's John. John, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning. This is a warm pasta recipe. It's madani with eggplant. Medium-sized macaroni. Cook it per the package instructions for about 10 to 14 minutes. 10 to 14 minutes is for the whole shebang here, but prepare that half pound of medium-sized macaroni. Meanwhile, fry thin, unpeeled slices of small eggplant in some olive oil, about a quarter cup, until they're brown. Then set those aside. Then you put clove of garlic through the garlic press and add it to the olive oil, along with 1 can of condensed tomato soup, half teaspoon of basil. Simmer for a few minutes, and then you prep it for the oven by putting a third of the macaroni in the bottom of a grease casserole. Cover with a layer of eggplant slices. Sprinkle with grated Parmesan. Then repeat the process 2 or 3 times until you use up all the macaroni, and that should be the top layer. And what you do is then you top that final layer with tomato sauce all over. Bake it in a moderately heated oven of about 350 degrees for about 12 minutes, and voila, there you have it.
All right, sounds good, John. Thank you for the call. Have a great day. All right, let's go to Debbie in Monroeville. Hey, Debbie, you're on the Coons Cooking Hour. Good morning.
Hi, I have a salad. It's a linguine salad, and it should be served cold. And you just cook your linguine and drain it. But the key is to use McCormick Salad Supreme. It's a seasoning that you put on, and then you use a zesty Italian dressing. But you can add to it. I like tomatoes. I like cucumbers, zucchini. You can throw any vegetables in, chop up some lettuce or some spinach and mix it all together. It's best to make it either early in the morning or the night before. Let it sit in the refrigerator, and it's a great cold salad.
Go ahead, Frank. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's a great salad. You know, I love a linguine salad. It's refreshing. It's perfect for summer. A little bit of salad supreme in there gives it a great taste.
And when you say linguine, you know it has to be an Italian dish. All right, thank you for the call. Let's keep them going. 866-391-1020. Here's Flo in North Huntington. Hey, Flo, good morning.
Good morning. I have a pasta that made Sophia Loren famous. And she said that everything you see I owe to spaghetti. So it's a pasta with uncooked tomato, basil, and mozzarella sauce. And I'm going to give you the recipe as it was written in the newspaper many years ago, and then I'll give you the way I had to modify it for my family. But it calls for 1.5 pounds of tomatoes, about 3, seeded and chopped, 3 garlic cloves minced, a 1/2 cup of packed fresh basil leaves or parsley, coarsely chopped, 1 cup of diced mozzarella, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, salt and a few hot dried peppers, flakes to taste, and a pound of spaghetti. Now, in a large pot, you combine the tomatoes, garlic, basil, mozzarella, oil, vinegar, and salt and pepper flakes to taste, and let the sauce stand covered at room temperature for at least 1 hour and up to 4 hours. Just before serving, in a kettle of boiling salted water, you cook the spaghetti until it is al dente. Drain it well and add it to the sauce. Toss and serve immediately, and it makes 4 servings. Now, to please my family, I did not use garlic cloves or hot dried pepper flakes. And then I put all the tomatoes, the basil leaves, and parsley, along with the olive oil and red wine vinegar in a blender to chop and blend together. And I like it warm, and I like to eat it cold. It's delicious both ways.
Best of both worlds. Good stuff. What about that, Frank?
Yeah,
Best of both worlds, huh?
Yeah, best of both worlds, and also using fresh tomatoes. You know, it's work, but it actually adds a great taste to it. And as we get to here later in the season, all the extra tomatoes you have coming out of the garden, these are great recipes to be able to use a lot of those up without feeling like you're just doing it to use them up. It's going to make a great sauce. You can make a bigger batch too, and set it in the freezer, or just enough for the week to get through for a couple of different dishes.
All right, give us a call. It's cold and warm pasta recipes. 866-391-1020. Some lines available. If you want that $25 gift certificate, you got to get in here in the next segment and a half. Let's say hi to Dorian in McKees Rocks. Hey, Dorian.
Good morning, gentlemen. I have one known as a bachelor salad. It's made in a frying pan. Half mids, half Prego. And for your pasta, Mrs. T's pierogies, and to spice it up nice, use chocolate-covered peanuts. All right, throw in there, and make it hot. And add, if you're going to be by yourself all day long and not driving, you could add some Captain Morgan rum in there. Keep it hot. Just The beauty of it is that in a frying pan, you eat it all, clean the pan, no mess, no aggravation, no leftovers.
Perfect. Thanks, Dorian. You know, the whole idea is no leftovers. When you have no leftovers, you know you've hit a home run, Frank.
But how are you going to have your spaghetti sandwich if you don't have any leftovers?
Listen,
I do like that chocolate going in there. I don't know if you've heard about it, but people putting chocolate in just to get a little bit of that acidic taste away. It's a good idea.
Listen, I'm not spoiling anything that's red sauce with chocolate. Forget it. Maybe a clove of garlic if I'm feeling generous and I don't plan on going out on a date anytime soon. But I must tell you, I love spaghetti sauce, just spaghetti sauce. So here's my question. I go into Coons Market, the pasta out. There are so many different brands to choose from. I was shooting a bunch of videos for social media in the Bellevue store on Friday, and I was doing some stuff in the pasta out. You know, names like Gia Rosa, Del Grosso, Di Cecco from Italy, you know, just a real fan favorite. But how do you really, if you're just starting out and you want to start cooking at home and you've never made it from scratch and you don't have time or the wherewithal or grandma didn't leave a recipe to pass on, how do you find the right sauce for your liking? Or are they so good that you can actually mix and match and get a little extra flavor, or something that you may not have thought you could get by just stopping? You decided to go forward and you're like, boy, am I glad I went forward and grabbed that other quarter pint of sauce. Even maybe the old world tradition that was what I grew up on, ragu, that revolutionized cooking spaghetti on Sundays because it gave mom and grandma a little extra time to spend with the family because it was right there in the can, all the ingredients. So how do you pick the right sauce when there's so many to choose from?
Well, you're going to start off simple. Pick a traditional, and if you like a couple different vegetables in it, add that. And I always recommend if you want a meat sauce to add your own, get a marinara and add your own meat into it. You're going to get a better flavor from it, just as long as you let it simmer a little bit. If you add when you're doing the jarred sauce, you add a couple jars. If you add a little bit of water and then any ground beef or just meat to cook inside of it and let it cook off, that'll let it get thicken back up for you so it doesn't get too thick. But keeping it simple right away. And then you can always try different things. You can always start moving over to getting some canned tomatoes and start, and working on that, or just perfecting how you make your pasta itself. What pasta shapes do you like? The pasta shape is just all the difference is what carries the most sauce or the least amount of sauce, depending what you're making. So you're making a spaghetti, you're not going to get as much sauce with every bite. If you get a ziti or a rigatoni, it's going to carry the sauce inside of it and give you extra sauce. And then there's also different shapes, like wagon wheels and all that. And that's going to be, kids like a different shape every now and then. That's what it's going to be. So it all depends on what you're doing. The taste is almost identical on all of them. It's just the actual shape of how much sauce you want to get. Like if you like a really thin spaghetti, an angel hair is going to be great. It's not going to be as good for an Alfredo though, because it's picking up way too much sauce because of how tight it ends up being with that thin. And then whenever you're doing your sauce as well, or your pasta as well, cooking that pasta to an al dente, I keep checking it. On the box, they'll tell you how many minutes, but then also checking to see if just almost done, turning it off, dumping it into a strainer, but don't dump all of that water into the strainer. You want to put a little, after you drain it, put it back into the pot that you cooked it in and leave it. Some of that water will still be in there to keep it, loosen it back up. And then I always add a ladle or two of sauce back in too that loosens it back up, and it'll come out pretty good that way. Serve it to your guests, and then put your sauce on top. Don't mix all the sauce into it. So little things like that. And it's all just taking one step at a time. Don't leap, right off the bat and try to make a sauce made out of fresh tomatoes and all that. Go easy, make a nice jarred sauce, doctor it up, and then you can go from there.
All right, short break. We'll come back. I'm going to be drawing this week's winner because Frank is on the road. And before the hour is up, some lucky listener who calls in with a pasta, cold or warm pasta dish will win a $25 gift certificate from Coons Market. So you better hurry. 866-391-1020.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series presented by University of Pittsburgh announces its 25-26 season at Heinz Hall. 7 events will broaden your perspective and deepen your understanding of the world around you. Featuring Dr. Anthony Fauci, Malcolm Gladwell, historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, former Russian political prisoner Vladimir Kara-Murza, and geopolitical economist Pippa Malmgren. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
With offices in Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle, Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Dr. Sean Ritchie in the spotlight next hour. We're going to be telling you about what's happening in Wexford. There's seminar on Monday, June 9th and more, so stay tuned for that. But right now, back to the Coons Cooking Hour. It's pasta recipes, warm and cold dishes. And if you want to have a possibility, because I'm going to draw the lucky listener during the next commercial break, you may take home a $25 gift certificate, but you have to call in with a pasta, warm or cold pasta recipe right now. 866-391-1020. Let's head out to Latrobe and say hi to Sharon. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, guys. Hey, I have a question. You guys were talking earlier. What's the difference between beefaroni and bourguignon, if I pronounce that right?
Bolognese. Go ahead, Frank.
Oh, the bolognese. The bolognese is going to have sausage. That's the bolognese. Whether you're doing half and half, or if you're beef and sausage, or if you're doing all sausage. Where the beefaroni, which like the mac and beef, is going to be a straight ground beef and season it up from there. That's your main difference with the bolognese. They end up being just as tight, as thick, that kind of stuff. It all depends on what your taste is.
Because I remember when I was a kid, we'd have beefaroni. My aunt would make it, and it was like a thicker. It stuck to, and I didn't know.
It'll be thicker because the pasta itself is going to release a lot of starch and thicken it up too. So even if you have a looser, a runnier sauce, it's still going to thicken up when you go ahead and cook. I love a beefaroni. I add a little bit more sugar into it, just adds to it, and gives it a different flavor too.
I will try that. Thank you.
All right, Sharon, you have a great day. Isn't it amazing how your industry has evolved? We were talking about sauce in a jar, a plastic jar now, if you will, but things like SpaghettiOs and that, and a ragu sauce, that had been around for decades, literally did change the face of lunchtime, giving mom an opportunity to create something really delicious by adding that little extra treat that was a part of their family tradition, certain ingredient. But Frank, here's the other thing. That stuff back in the day, a can of SpaghettiOs 50 years ago was a gourmet dish. That was a big deal to get some of those SpaghettiOs off the grocery shelves at Coons Market.
Well, in our industry, we're always trying to innovate and trying to make it easier for the customer and listening to what people are asking for. And they come back at you and they tell you, boy, it'd be nice if I can get a nice pasta already done, 100% done. With Chef Boyardee introduced, those pasta, and there was Franco America. And I think they merged eventually, but they just those companies making those pastas where you can just push it out, pour it out in a can, and also focusing on kids themselves. Because why? Most of the people that are looking to save time have kids. That's why they're looking to save time. They don't have a lot of time. And so going to SpaghettiOs, making the different alphabet shapes, making all the different little shapes. And then if you see the meatballs, they want to add meatballs. They make them really small so they fit in the can and they get a nice thing. But that's what kids wanted. They're easier to eat that way. So, and that's the way the industry does things. They see the trends and follow the trends. Why I'm down here in New Orleans. It's just looking at the trends, not what people are telling you, but looking at the trends of what's going and moving off the shelves. What are people making with these? Then doing surveys to figure things out. They're doing all the hard work. All we have to do is probably the harder work is making it work inside the store and introducing it to the customer and all the research that goes behind our market. Pittsburgh tends to be behind on a little bit some of these trends unless we're the ones creating the trend. And being able to bring these in when we find something good it brings a lot of joy to my heart to be able to bring something in that customers can enjoy the way I do.
Listen, being down in the bayou, close to the water, you got to believe a lot of clam sauce down there on the pasta. But so let's talk about the white sauce and clam sauce and other type of sauces that aren't the traditional red sauce or gravy, as I like to say. Is that basically an Italian twist? Are they more white sauce as opposed to the red sauce that we have here in America?
Well, it's just something different. I think it's a lot of people that don't like the acidic taste of the tomatoes. That might bother their stomach. They might have acid reflux. Kids, a lot of time, like a nice butter sauce instead of the red sauce, which is a blessing because you don't have to clean all the red sauce off their clothes and all the stains. But, a nice oil-based sauce, too. It's just a little bit lighter. Heating it up, of course. But, seasoning it the same, salt, pepper, oregano with the cheese, but you're using a good olive oil, an extra virgin olive oil usually works the best. And just something simple. We used to make white meatballs at home. My mom would make them where you made the meatballs as normal, but then you made the sauce was olive oil, salt, pepper, and oregano, and Romano cheese was in the sauce, and some parsley. And then you put that over you make your pasta, put your pasta down, put your meatballs down, you pour that sauce over that, and it's a little bit lighter. Or sometimes she would have that same exact sauce, no meatballs, and she would fry up zucchini, not breaded, just plain. And you put that zucchini over that pasta and then put that sauce over it. Nice and simple, very light. It works perfect for summers, and it gives you something different than eating a red sauce all the time.
All right, we're going to...
these those little changes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. I'll draw this week's winner. I'm privileged. First time in the 20 years or so we've been doing this show that I get to draw the winner. Frank's on location. He is in New Orleans. We'll tell you more about that as well. So stay where you're at. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on KDKA. Coming up at 9 o'clock, Rob Taylor's back with the latest news. And then it's Dr. Sean Ritchie, Tri-State Neuropathy Center. They have helped thousands of people, now over 13,000 and counting, deal with neuropathy. They've got a free seminar coming up in Wexford on June the 9th. I'm going to tell you all about it. It is free, but you have to register. But they are located in Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, West Virginia, and Morgantown, West Virginia. That's next hour. But when we come back, this week's winner on the Coons Cooking Hour on KDKA. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
This could be one of the biggest economic in the history of the region. Mayor of West Mifflin, Chris Kelly.
Well, as our dear friend used to say, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I actually shed a few tears. I felt such relief for the family. And I thank you for your continued support on this. As the people learned more about it, they got on. And that's thanks to people like you and your station.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Hey folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000. 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information. Free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
The diet can continue Monday. This is the Coons Cooking Hour on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, moments ago, I drew this week's winner, and it's Debbie from Monroeville. Debbie, congratulations. We will get out that gift card to you worth $25 at a Coons Market near you. Okay, Frank, jump back in here a little bit and spend some time with us as we get ready to say goodbye for another week. But, man, dads and grads, outdoor parties, we've got sandwich rings. We've got all sorts of great pasta salads. We've got all sorts of treats in the bakery. And, of course, for those who are 21 and over, those adult beverages in the cafe, Banksville Road and McKnight Road, and chips and everything you need, your favorite soda pop. So if you're looking to plan that outdoor party for dads and grads, get to a Coons Market or call ahead and place your orders.
Yeah, it seems like it snuck up on us again. Summer got here faster than we thought. You know, winter didn't last forever like it started to feel like. You know, but yeah, any meal for dad, what he wants, his favorite steak. If he wants his favorite, like pork chops, nice pork chop or sausage, cook up some nice Italian sausage on the grill, you know, or just be there with your dad, hang out with your dad for the day. You know, sometimes that's the biggest thing to do. Dad likes it simple. Dad likes to be able to keep things easy and be able to relax on his day off. And just keeping it simple and help them out and just spending that time with them is usually the best way to go. And, of course, graduation parties. My niece is graduating from North Allegheny this year, so congratulations. And getting ready for those parties, you know, because that's a big step. That's a big celebration. We went through with our girls and, you know, making that big step to, going further on learning how to be an adult and how to have a good life.
By the way, congratulations to Cole Young, a NA graduate up in the big leagues, a fielder's choice in the 11th inning, major league debut for his first RBI, giving Seattle a 5-4 win over Minnesota. So really excited about that. 10 seconds. Tell everybody where you're at, Frank.
Down in New Orleans with the IDDBA, learning about some new products for the deli, the dairy, and the bakery departments, and growing our trends and picking up some new stuff for the city of Pittsburgh.
All right, we'll see you next week. Frank Dentisi. News at 9, then Dr. Ritchie. It's 9 o'clock.
The preceding program was paid for by Coons Quality Market.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 47 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe Saturday in Ohio. New Sewickley Township police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing on Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road. Saturday, though, she was found safe in the central Ohio area. New Sewickley police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident, but no further details were given. Well, 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a pit bull dog. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. Saturday for a disturbance when a dog bit the female officer in the leg. That officer fired one shot at the dog, striking the dog. Dog was transported to a veterinarian in Monroeville, and that officer was taken to a local hospital. The dog's two owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, the person who died after being struck by a pickup truck on Saturday morning in Washington, PA, has been identified as 51-year-old Stephen Elliott of Washington. The coroner has not ruled out that Elliott may have suffered a medical event prior to being hit by the truck. The driver of the truck got out of the vehicle in the 800 block of Jefferson Avenue thinking he had struck an animal, only to learn it was Elliott. The Washington Police Department is investigating that incident. Pittsburgh police continue to investigate after a man was killed early Saturday morning, in Northview Heights. Police responded to a 4-round shot spotter alert there in the 100 block of Hazlitt Street just before 1 o'clock Saturday morning. Found a man inside a residence with multiple gunshot wounds to the back. He was identified as 38-year-old LaRon Harrison, who died at the scene, and the incident still under investigation. Coming up at noon today, downtown, the Pittsburgh Pride March and Parade, stepping off from Liberty Avenue near 11th Street. And it will continue down Liberty Avenue beginning at noon, making a right on 7th Street, crossing the Andy Warhol Bridge, over to the north side where the festival will take place at the Allegheny Commons Park West. Now, last year's Pride Weekend attracted more than 260,000 people to the festivities. That set a new record. Parade itself saw more than 100,000 people attend or participate, according to Pittsburgh Pride organizers. KDKA Radio News Time is 9:03 on the dot. The AccuWeather forecast next.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Okay, I have a big and different question for you to answer. How would you feel if others called you the biggest loser that they knew and they meant it as a compliment? Yes, a compliment. Why is being the biggest loser a good thing? Because 10, 20, 40, 60, 100 pounds are off your body. You're moving better, looking better, doing things that you haven't been able to do for a long time. I'm Dr. Shufo at the Weight Loss and Wellness Center, and that's exactly what we can make you, the biggest loser. We'll eliminate why you can't and only why you can. Call me at 1-800-900-THIN.
Most people think child abuse is a bad parent problem.
Actually, the root causes may be different than you think.
Let us explain. Affordable housing for everyone?
That prevents child abuse. And access to health care in every community.
Prevents child abuse, too. High quality, affordable child care.
Paid family leave.
School breakfast and lunch programs.
All of this prevents child abuse.
It's all about keeping families out of crisis in the first place.
At least 1 in 7 children in the United States have experienced abuse or neglect in the past year. Prevent Child Abuse America promotes policies, programs, and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
we prevent child abuse
from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more.
That's preventchildabuse.org.
Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
When you struggle with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, you get used to not feeling 100%. I thought that was how it had to be. Until I discovered the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. They told me about new medications that weren't around back when I was diagnosed. They helped me find a specialist who gave me a new treatment plan. I'm feeling better than I ever thought I could. Don't settle for not feeling your best. Take action today to take care of yourself. Spill your guts. Learn more at
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings sunshine much of the time and a breezy and less cool end to the weekend with a high of 66 ahead of a clear and rather chilly night for tonight with a low dropping all the way down to 44. That sets up for another warmer day tomorrow with hazy sun and a high of 74. With more hazy sun, warmer Tuesday, high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM at AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Information on the program is intended solely to further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, here he is in the Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on KDKARadio.com, KDKA Watch. My good friend, Dr. Sean Ritchie. Big seminar coming up. We're going to tell you all about it. It's free. Give you the details in a moment, but they are located in Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. MaryDanston.com. First consultation, examination, and treatment is free. So if you call that number now, leave a working number. They can reach you during office hours, Monday through Friday. You're going to get your first consultation, examination, and treatment free. Now, if you know somebody dealing with neuropathy, please tell them there is hope. We're on the air for the next hour, but you can call them anytime, morning, noon, or night. Leave your information. They will get back to you. Now, this is very exciting stuff. Seminar, Wexford, their location, Monday, June 9th at noon at 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off the Wexford exit. You can't miss it, of 79. Registration is required. It is free, but to get your seat reserved, you need to simply go and make the call. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000, MaryDancedIn.com. We have a lot to get to, so before we start running down why they have helped thousands and they can help you, what's new with you, Dr. Sean Ritchie? Good morning.
Good morning to you. Oh, I tell you, the staggering numbers of people suffering with neuropathy, it just never stops. And we've been doing this for 12 years now, and every day our phones are ringing, people looking for answers. And the seminar is great. We had one last month in Monroeville. Now we're doing one in Wexford, and we had about 30 people show up at the Monroeville seminar, and it's just a really good environment. There's a lot of people out there thinking that they're alone. They'll go to their docs and they try to tell them and explain what's going on with their feet. And a lot of times they can't put it to words, and they just kind of listen, but they act like it's a unique thing, and it's not. They say 10% of Americans suffer with neuropathy. It's like 30 million people suffer with this, so you're not alone if you're out there. But when you come to a seminar, all of a sudden you see there's other people suffering with this. I like to watch them engage with each other, like, where are you at with your journey? And at the beginning of the seminars, I always like to meet the people, and they start to tell me a little bit about what's going on with them, and everybody kind of has the same journey when you get neuropathy. It's just what leg of that journey are they on, and it's just a really good way to open their eyes to what it really is, and that's what they're going to learn when they come. They're going to learn exactly who we are, where we were born and raised, and how our company became, which was 12 years ago, and how it's evolved. And then you're going to learn about kind of the journeys that people go through, and they're all going to kind of be nodding their heads like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But then we get to teach them about us and on what we do and how we've helped over 14,000 people, the science behind it, visuals of seeing how these nerves like to regenerate. And then at the end, I love to open it up for questions and answers. A lot of people have good questions and, curious about things. And that's probably one of my favorite parts. And I like to stay as long as I need to answer the questions. And and that is going to be, not this Monday, but next Monday, right off the Wexford exit. It's really easy to get to, and if you need to look where that is, just go to our website, marydansden.com, click the seminars tab, and you'll see the address there. But you definitely have to call for registration.
All right, again, that's 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off the Wexford exit of 79. Registration required. It's absolutely free. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. So we've talked about this before, trauma, accidents, where you basically are put back together, knee, hip, shoulder, whatever, through the great surgeons that we have in this region. But some people are left with neuropathy, something they can't fix. So let's talk about how common is neuropathy from blunt force trauma.
It's funny. I have a gentleman going through the program right now, and I hear a lot of stories, Rob, and every story is kind of different how they get there, but this poor guy was driving on 422 up on 79, like in Butler, and a drunk driver came across the median and hit him and his wife dead on. I forget how many bones, but it was like 20, 30 broken bones, femurs, ribs, arms. It was unbelievable. Left her quadriplegic, but she's alive. But this poor guy came out, and he's mobile, and he's able, he suffers with a lot of pain and stuff, but one of the things was neuropathy, and he didn't know that there was any answers for that. And he's got to take care of his wife, so he's got to stay mobile. He's got to be able to do these things. So after going through his story, he was a very classic case of, pure trauma from a car accident. And after testing him, he definitely had peripheral neuropathy. And we've been treating him for about 2 months, and I just saw him this week, and he's like, I can't believe how good my feet are doing. He's like, to take this one thing out of my daily routine of dealing with trauma and is to get rid of that neuropathy. He goes, is life changing. He's sleeping better. He's able to be more mobile and just even balance issues. He's starting to feel balance, and that's just that's a really good turn for people, because the one thing when I started doing this, I knew what it was. I knew what peripheral neuropathy was, but the one thing I did not know is that automatically it's going to get worse. It's just how fast. And that's the one thing these poor people don't understand, is they're living in the moment, but unfortunately this is going to continue to get worse.
All right, when we come back, they've helped over 14,000 people. What do they do? What is the technology all about? Dr. Sean Ritchie, founder and chiropractic physician, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, is our guest. And if you act today and make this call, you'll get your first consultation, examination, and treatment free. If you know someone dealing with neuropathy, tell them there's hope. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia, and very important, Wexford. Monday, a week from this Monday, June 9th at noon, 2100 Georgetown Road in Swickley, right off the Wexford exit of 79. You can put it in your GPA system. Very easy to get to. Go to their website, marydansden.com. Click on the seminars tab, the address right there in front of you. Put it into your map finder in your phone. Very easy drive from anywhere in the tri-state. It is a free event, but you have to register. How do you do that? 724-940-9000. And why not, if you're dealing with it, when you call to set up that appointment, that reservation, say you want a treatment too, examination and consultation free as well. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Dr. Sean Ritchie today on KDKA with your Pratt Pack Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. We'll be right back.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you roof can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Dr. Sean Ritchie is here. I just can't say enough good things about this guy. They do so many good things. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and they want to help you. And again, the seminar is Monday, June 9th, 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off the Wexford exit of 79. Go to their website for details, marydansden.com. It's free, but you have to register. How can you do that? 724-940-9000. You can even do it today, this morning, and say, I want to be at the seminar. Give your name and number, and they'll get you scheduled for that free seminar. If you want that free consultation and examination and treatment free, you can ask for that as well today. 724-940-9000. Look, you've helped over 14,000 people. Something's working, so take me through the journey. What do you do?
Yeah, the first and foremost, we need to make sure that they're a candidate. That's the most important visit. We offer that free. When they come in, we'll go through their history, and we'll make sure that they're talking what peripheral neuropathy is. There's a lot of people that come in that we don't accept as patients that might have something like plantar fasciitis or a Morton's neuroma, might even just have arthritis in the feet. And that's just not what we treat. What we treat is a thing called peripheral neuropathy. And to just give a simple explanation, it's a nerve problem. You got a brain, it controls everything. When it leaves your back as a large nerve fiber, that's your big stuff. You know, it controls your muscles, your heart, your stomach, your digestion, liver, picking your legs up. You know, somebody walks by and they have that foot drop where they got to swing their foot. That's because they have a large nerve fiber problem, not allowing their muscles to fire. But when that nerve ends, it ends in your peripheral, your toes, your fingers, and in the top layer of your skin is the endings. It's called a small nerve fiber or sensory nerve. Literally, these nerves are so small you can't even see them. That's how tiny they are. But the magnitude of when they get damaged is horrendous. So when those nerves start to get damaged, they like to start at the peripheral, and it'll be like, say, your toes. Most of the time it's in their feet, but they can get it in their hands too. When it starts in the toes, it'll feel like maybe they're swollen or they feel a little nummy, you know, like they fell asleep or something. And then it likes to work its way back. It'll go to the ball of the foot, and now it feels like you're walking on a spongy feeling. People say crumpled up socks, or there's like a cushion between their toes and the ball of their foot. And generally, it's bilateral, but it can be single-sided, but it'll work its way back. Sciatica, which is a large nerve fiber, likes to work its way down, but these little guys will work their way back, and it'll crawl all the way up to the knees, fingertips to the elbows, and that's the beginning when it gets numb. Then it rolls into the other stuff, like tingling, you know, pins and needles, they'll say, and then it goes to the other side. This is where it starts to get bad, and that's when I tell everybody, this is your fate. When you get peripheral neuropathy, it's going to get worse. So catching it sooner than later is always a great thing to do, so you don't have to face this battle. And then the bad stuff, it starts to get burning. You'll get these sharp shooting pains. I just had a patient in the other day saying that every time they go to bed, they have this anxiety because they know they're going to be sleeping and someone's going to sneak in with a cattle prod and hit their feet with hot coals tied into it. And it just wakes them out of a dead sleep. And this is every night. And they start to get anxiety. Then they start to lose sleep. Then it turns into the balance. You just can't feel the feet on the ground. So your balance starts to change. And then you start to not be able to, do your stuff that you like, whether it's golf or gardening or simply walking or driving a car. A lot of people lose the ability to drive a car because they don't even know what pedal they're on. They might have muscle memory, but they can't tell if they're on the brake or the gas, unlike what we can feel. But that's the worst part about neuropathy. And the greatest thing is we have something to actually address it. For years and years and years, they'll go to their PCPs, they'll go to their neurologist, their endocrinologist, the podiatrist, and they all try to do the best job that they can, but ultimately they tell them that there's nothing that can be done. And that's not the case anymore. We've helped over 14,000 people, and what they do is when they do testing, they'll check to see if they have it. Once they have it, the only thing that they have is a medication. And this medication is kind of global, and they use it for any type of pain these days. Most common ones, gabapentin, trying to dim the nerve conduction down, dim the pain down, and it doesn't work. I would say 90% of the people that come in that are on it says it doesn't touch it. And then they go back to their doctors, they run the same test, and they say that you got peripheral neuropathy. And what do? They up the dose. Now you're on 300 milligrams 3 times a day. Now you're tired, lethargic, and there's some really bad side effects to these medications. So the greatest thing is when people come in, they're brainwashed to think this is their fate, and it isn't. We've had so much success over the 12 years that we've grown from 1 office to 9 offices, and we've brought 5 docs on board, 6 including myself, and we are all across the tri-state area, all the way from Poland, Ohio, to Morgantown, West Virginia, to Altoona, Pennsylvania. If you're listening and you want to come to the seminar, even if you're from a different area, just come to the seminar. Make the journey on some Monday, and grab lunch afterwards. There's a lot of restaurants out there, and but yeah, it'll be a really nice seminar that you can learn, and we'll teach you a lot about it, and we can get you set up in any office that you want.
Listen, you got a Sheetz right across the street. I'm good. I'm good. That's a beautiful place up there, and it's so easy to get to.
It's super easy. Yeah, it's literally right off the highway there. So there's that's what I like about that location. A lot of our locations are real easy to get to. People suffer with neuropathy. They don't like going out.
Do you think by expanding as you had to so many locations, that's why you've been able to help so many people?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people with neuropathy, their mobility is very bad. They don't like to just go down to the mailbox, let alone driving across the states. When we just had 1 office, we did have a lot of people. I mean, I had a gentleman from Lake Chautauqua. We used to do treatments in the office. Now they get to do it at home, but this guy was driving, 2.5, 3 hours, 3 times a week because it was working for him. But now that we were able to expand and open to different locations, we're able to, they don't have that fear of driving too far. And I mean, that's definitely grown our business. When we were just 1 office, 1 person, now we got 6 docs and 9 locations. We absolutely are able to help a lot more people.
All right, and they are located in Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. Seminar Monday, a week from Monday, June 9th at noon at the Wexford location, 2100 Georgetown Road in Swickley, right off the Wexford exit. Registration is required to reserve your seat. Go to the website and see details, or you can pick up the phone at 724-940-9000. And while you call and say you want to be a part of that, or you do it at marydancedin.com, you can book that first consultation, examination, and treatment is free. I have people say to me all the time, how do I get a hold of him? How do I get a hold of him? And is he going to put an office here? Well, we have one in Beaver for my friends in Beaver County, but when I'm in Ohio or West Virginia, and I know you're in Weirton and Morgantown, but how do you decide where you want to put an office?
Demographics.
Really?
We want to make it an easy place for people to come. When we just moved to Morgantown, we get a lot of people, south of there. And, yeah, we just kind of look at, location, like what's easy for people to get to and, how many people are there and stuff like that. So
what made you decide to go full throttle into this? Because you could have done anything.
It was fate, honestly. I was introduced to a neurologist that kind of put this whole thing together, and it took me about a year before I finally dove into it. And but I went out to Arizona, and this guy kind of taught me everything that he learned, and I came back, and I was super skeptical. Like I was a chiropractor, did a lot of adjusting and helping lots of people that way, but this was something unique, and I like unique. I like technology, and one of the main technologies we use is called low-level light therapy. I'll explain that in a little bit, but it was I came back, and I had 6 people that I'd known forever just started talking about it, and they had it, and you know, adjusting a back is great, but it doesn't do anything for neuropathy. So next thing I know, I put 6 people through a clinical trial. All 6 got better, and 2 of them got 100% better. And from there, it was just the masses started calling. There was a solution for them finally.
By acting today, you can prevent your neuropathy from getting worse and also receive an effective treatment plan to getting you back to enjoying all the activities that you love. Many people suffering from neuropathy's debilitating symptoms give up hope in regaining their lives. As traditional treatments have been disappointing, there is hope. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has been successfully treating and helping neuropathy sufferers since 2013. Let them help you. Call right now. Leave your information, a working number that they can reach you during business hours throughout the week, and you'll get that first consultation, examination, and treatment free. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. Highly important. Here it is. Wexford, Monday, June 9th, a week from tomorrow at noon. 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off the Wexford exit. Registration is required, a free seminar. You don't want to miss it. You can do so by going to their website, marydanston.com, and you can always call and say, I want to be a part of it, 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Don't touch that dial. When we come back after the news update, some success stories that you're going to want to hear. Stay with us.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much angst and anger these days that, you know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com.
Get Marty is presented by Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Levin Furniture, UPMC Health System, CNS Construction, John Keefe Restaurant Group of Oakmont, and by Robert Pierce and Associates. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 48 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 9:30. I'm Rob Taylor. 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a pit bull dog. Glassport police say it all happened in the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. They were called there for a disturbance when a dog got loose and bit an officer in the leg. An officer fired one shot at the dog, striking the dog. The dog was transported to a veterinarian in Monroeville. Officer was taken to a local hospital. The dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, the Pittsburgh Pride March and Parade kicks off today downtown at noon near the Greyhound bus station on Liberty Avenue. We'll proceed down Liberty, make a right on 7th Street, continue across the Andy Warhol Bridge to the north side, proceeding to the festival area at the Allegheny Commons Park West for the Pittsburgh Pride Festival. Now, last year's Pride weekend in total attracted more than 260,000 people to the festivities. That set a new record. And the parade itself saw more than 100,000 people attend or participate last year, according to Pittsburgh Pride organizers. KDKA Radio News Time is 9:31. Next update's at 10. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Check out these hot savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank TC?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. Fresh boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $3.69 a pound. Sweet Southern peaches, 99 cents a pound. And Schwabel's bagels, English muffins, or Texas toast, 12 to 22-ounce packages, $1.99 each. Additional savings in our meat department. 85% lean fresh ground beef, $5.49 a pound. And farm-raised fresh salmon steaks for $10.99 a pound. In our produce department, extra large golden ripe pineapples, $2.99 each. And Fresh Express American, Italian, or Veggie Lover salad blends, 9 to 11-ounce packages, 3 for $10. In our deli department, Isley's chipped ham is $3.99 a pound, and Memphis-style pork barbecue dinners are $7.99 each. And this week, selected varieties of Sargento deli-style sliced cheese, 5 to 8-ounce packages, 2 for $6.
So get in on these hot savings right now at Coons Market. How do you find Coons Market, your neighborhood grocer, and the store nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
The second half of this weekend brings less cool conditions with a bit of a breeze at times and plenty of sun with a high of 66. Then clear and chilly tonight with a low of 44. Before hazy sun for tomorrow and an even warmer day with a high of 74. Then warmer still Tuesday with more hazy sun and a high of 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Tri-State Neuropathy Centers.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we're back with Dr. Sean Ritchie. Tri-State Neuropathy Center's program is drug-free, painless, non-invasive, and FDA approved, and a seminar where you can find out even more a week from tomorrow, which is going to be Monday, June 9th, 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off the Wexford exit. Registration is required. Go to their website for details, marydanston.com. You can always phone, say, hey, get back to me. I want to be a part of that seminar. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Why don't you just skip to the chase? If you think you got neuropathy, call today, or you've been told you have neuropathy, and say, I want that first consultation, examination, and treatment free. 724-940-9000. Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. Third segment is always my favorite, whether we actually have someone with us on the show or he just does what he does every day. Here's success story after success story. They've helped over 14,000 people. Give me some success stories, Doc.
You know, I was thinking the other day, we do this a lot. You know, I always have this little tablet I bring, and it has a lot of the past people that we've had on the show, or, you know, I just had that week, you know, talk about their success stories. And there's a lot, you know, and I keep taking them out and putting the new ones in. And And I started thinking the other day of all these people that we've helped. I'm like, where would they be if we didn't meet? You know, like I had this guy, it was 4 years ago, Pastor Hart. He came in and he had been suffering from neuropathy for 6 years, and he was a diabetic. And it was bad, you know, it was starting to get like that shooting pain, the stabbing pains, his balance, you know, working around the church. He's like, I can't climb up on ladders, you know, just even walking around anymore is getting really rough. Just the simple chores he just couldn't do. You know, he went to the PCP and he was sick of the medications that they were given. It was making him lethargic. It wasn't helping either. And it kept getting worse. And to the point, like, he still does his studies. He travels the world and does his studies. And he says, I can't even concentrate good anymore because all my feet are screaming at me like all the time. And his sleep was bad. And, you know, and he had gone, you know, 6 years. You're going to your PCP, you're going to your neurologist, you're doing the EMGs, you're doing all the things that they're asking you to do, and they just keep loading you up on different medications. And, you know, he came in and you know, obviously we diagnosed him. He was a great candidate, diabetic neuropathy, and he was very skeptical, just like everybody is. And he was a little slower. You know, he had it for a while. That's why I always say catch it earlier, it's better. But it took a little bit. You know, he had gone, you know, 30 days and, you know, working into the second month, and it wasn't seeing that big jump till all of a sudden, then it really started to help him, you know. And by the end of it, he was like the, you know, biggest advocate. Like, I can't believe this works. And here it is. He's like 95% better, like barely even knows that he has a neuropathy. And the greatest part about our program is the technologies that we use. And we're the only ones that have that. It's the most powerful low-level light therapy on the market. They get to take it home with them. So, for example, he goes home with it. We get him better. Then we teach him to maintain it. And so I haven't heard from him in 4 years. So that's such a great thing to know that even though they suffered for so long, there is hope. And we've got him 95% better. And he's able to manage that because he has this technology at home and he does it on a very minimal basis. And it's super easy. I mean, there's no pain. You literally just drop your feet and set them on them. They turn on, they run for 20 minutes and you pull your feet out and that's it. You can be, you know, 105 years old. It's not like I'm asking you to do physical therapy or anything. And that's just so neat to know that, you know, it's to just see that. And then you got the people that are, you know, just finishing up 90 days. I had a guy, Bob, he's a garbage truck driver. And, you know, he was like worrying about being able to continue with his job and just getting around, just even like going like to the grocery store. He was saying like, he goes, I just go and sit in the car. And, you know, he's done with his 90 days. We did the test on him. The test we do, Rob, is really easy. It's there's really only two ways to check for peripheral neuropathy. One is a biopsy, which we don't do. The other one's a sensory exam. We'll put hot things, cold things, vibration to see what they're feeling. And that tells me whether they have it. That's a really good way to roll somebody in, roll them out, aside from their conversation and history. But once you do that test, they get a score and it shows the functionality. And he was really low. He was in the single digits. And after we did the 90-day and did a reassessment on him, he felt everything at 100%. He had 100% recovery of his sensory nerves. And now he's like, I'm walking through the grocery store, just doing the simple things. You know, he had a spongy feeling that he walked on, gone. Burning, gone. Pins and needles and tingling, gone. So it's really neat to be able to see these transitions. But like all these people, like Susan, you know, she suffered for a long time. She's 85% better. Mary, in 3 weeks, she couldn't believe the difference. Harry, last year he was golfing and his neuropathy was like unstable, making him unstable on the course that he said I actually swung a couple of times and missed the ball because I wasn't having my balance. And so far this year, he's got all his balance back on the course today. I had a lady that came in, Antoinette, who did so great through the program in 2022, and she had a flare-up. And she came in, we set her up on a little mini plan. And the greatest part about our program is we become partners, like for the rest of their lives. You know, once we get going, we'll work as hard as we can to get you as best as possible. Almost everybody that gets diagnosed and goes through our program will get 50 to 100% better. That's not taking gabapentin to get you through the day. This is about fixing these nerves. And she had a little flare up. She called me. We set her up, you know, what she had to do at home because she already had the equipment. We set her up for some office visits. In 1 month, we got her right back on par. And that's all part of people's programs. You know, we become lifers.
You know how I look at this like a drippy spigot or faucet. Drives you nuts, right? Costs you money. It's just a real pain.
Right.
But then when you get it free flowing, does what it needs to do, and you control it again.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. You know, we're not on this earth too long.
Nope.
You know, life goes by quick. We talk about that often. But live it the best that you can. You know, this neuropathy is not your end game. Even though you're led to believe that there's nothing that can be done. I know a lot of docs tell you don't do anything. There's a lot of things out there on the market. Be careful, like all the little stim things, all the supplements and this pill, that therapy, you know, be careful. You know, it is, you know, the stuff that we have is proven.
And let's face it, when people are in pain, they're vulnerable.
Yeah, they are. They are. And that's why we're very specific. And, you know, having this many, we've treated over 14,000, but we've probably seen 25, 30,000 with the whole group. So we know, you know, with the experience of of knowing who's good candidates, who's not, is, you know, is a really good thing, you know, because we know who's going to get the good results. So, and that's what we offer. That very first visit, it's free. I mean, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? If you think that you have it, you know, call us. Sometimes we can even say on the phone, that's more of a sciatic problem, you know, go to PT, go to a chiropractor. So we can kind of give you direction. But if you're at the beginning stages, or if you know somebody that has it, I guarantee they are looking for an answer. And we have been around the longest. We have one of the largest practices in the country. We've treated the most people. But the reason we have is our technologies. We can jump into it at the end of the show. I could tell you what it is and how it works, but it is that is why we're successful.
What I want you to do, though, and we're going to come back and do all of that, is talk about the seminar June 9th and why people really need to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to learn the science behind what we do. You know, it's not just here it is, go do it. You're going to learn exactly, you know, what neuropathy is, because most people come in, they don't know what it is. They know what it feels like, but they don't know exactly what peripheral neuropathy is. You're going to learn exactly what that is. You're going to learn how they like to generally manage it, which they probably have already been through it. And then you're going to learn exactly what our technologies are, what you do at home. We do have some office technologies that we do, and you're going to learn everything. And it's the exact same plans that we've been able to help 14,000 people with.
All right. Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle, Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. But that seminar, a week from tomorrow, which will be Monday, June 9th, Wexford office, 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off exit 79. Registration required. It is free. You can call or you can go to their website for all the details, marydanston.com. Phone number is 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Working number. They can reach you during office hours throughout the week. And if you just really think you might have neuropathy, or you've been told and you're dealing with neuropathy and you want the free consultation, examination, and treatment, all free, say that as well today when you call. Or if you just want to do that, call right now, 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Dr. Sean Ritchie, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, understands full well how to help people with neuropathy. They've treated over 14,000 patients who have suffered from peripheral neuropathy and have a 90% patient satisfaction rate. Don't miss out. Make the call. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000, marydanston.com.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
Here's AirPro's Rocco Florio.
If last summer took a toll on your old, inefficient central air conditioning system and you got prices from some of the big box stores or your current heating and cooling company and have been shocked with high prices and limited warranties, it's time to call AirPro Heating and Cooling and see why our customers save 20 to 30% over the competition.
AirPro and Bryant are offering their summer special and also 60 months interest-free financing or low 3.9% interest, subject to credit approval. Call AirPro Heating and Cooling. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
Folds of Honor has been meeting Sacrifice with Hope since 2019 in Western PA. It's their honor to empower people through education and the opportunities it creates. 41% of Folds of Honor scholarships are awarded to minorities, making recipient families as diverse as the country we call home. Folds of Honor has earned the Gold Star Platinum Seal, as well as 4 out of 4-star rankings on Charity Navigator. You can join their squadron today at westernpa.foldsofhonor.org. Please donate today. Spitzer Toyota of Monroeville is a proud supporter of Folds of Honor.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, 30 million people in the United States suffer from neuropathy, and that robs them from enjoying an active lifestyle. Tri-State Neuropathy Center is one of the largest and most successful treatment practices in the United States. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has 9 offices located in this region, and they are in the following locations: Wexford, Monroeville, Washington, Beaver, Castle Shannon, Altoona, Poland, Ohio, Weirton, and Morgantown, West Virginia. MaryDanston.com, 724-940-9000. And remember, seminar a week from tomorrow, Monday, June 9th. It's free, 2100 Georgetown Road, Swickley, right off the Wexford exit of 79. But you have to register. Go to the website, MaryDanston.com, or you can call 724-940-9000, and you can do it today. And if you also have neuropathy, or you think you have neuropathy and you want that first treatment, examination, and consultation free, say that as well. 724-940-9000, 724-940-9000. Now, the scientific aspect of what they do and why they've treated over 14,000 people. Dr. Sean Ritchie, go ahead.
Yeah, when you say scientific, you can make it very complicated or you can make it very simple. And it is simply... you've got these nerves that we described earlier in your skin that are dying. And there's a lot of reasons people can get those nerves to start to die. The top 4 reasons, or 5, I should say, are probably the most common things that you get when you get older. First one is diabetes. You know, it's almost an epidemic at this point. That can cause these nerves to die. Second one is chemotherapy or radiation. You know, you get cancer, you go through the treatments to save your life, but unfortunately, that can kill those nerves. Another one is back issues, like you were talking about traumas, or maybe just you're a hard worker, had back surgeries, or you got stenosis, disc problems. Those things can cause these nerves to die as well. And then a little hidden one is people get cardiovascular disease and get put on a cholesterol medicine. They call it a statin. That is one of the top reasons. In fact, our MaryDanston.com website is based off of a woman who suffered for 12 years. The day she started taking a statin at the age of 45, ended up getting it, and suffered to the point that she was soon to be in a wheelchair before she was 60, all because of that. I'm not telling you to get off of it, but it is one of the things that can cause it. Another one I've noticed recently is some of these COVID shots are zapping these nerves. But either way, those are the things that can cause these nerves to die. And what's happening is you've got something killing them, but they can stay alive. But what's happening is these little blood vessels that we have, blood goes through our whole body and it feeds everything. It's oxygen, it's nutrients. It keeps everything alive. Your muscles, your ligaments, your intestines, your pancreas, your eyes, your skin, your nerves, all need this oxygen and nutrients. But what happens when we get older, those tiny little vessels that let all the oxygen and nutrients out, they're called capillaries, they start to tighten up. And that's just a natural process because we get older. When we get older, our body doesn't regenerate or produce like it used to. One of the things it doesn't produce is a thing called nitric oxide. Not nitrous, the laughing gas, nitric oxide. It has one purpose, and it's designed to keep those blood vessels open in your body. When that blood goes out, it hits an artery, capillary, where it all falls out, and then hits a vein and goes back. That's why it's all blue or purpley, because there's no oxygen and nutrients. But unfortunately, at the very ends, the furthest from the heart is your feet, your hands. So these little nerves are dying, and they need oxygen and nutrients, and they're not getting it because you've depleted your body of producing nitric oxide. They say when you're over 40, you've depleted your production about 50%, just average numbers. When you're over 60, they say it's about like 80% less. So with that said, if we can somehow open those blood vessels and get oxygen and nutrients to those nerves, guess what? Your body can start to heal it. A good example, if you put a rubber band around your finger and then you just sit there and watch it, it starts to turn red and it turns purpley. That's because you're not getting blood flow there. Sometimes I see feet that come in and it's just not getting any blood supply. It's not that it's not getting there, it's just not getting out. So we need to open those capillaries. And the coolest part is we can do that now. We have the most powerful low-level light therapy on the market today, and it's by far the most powerful. We're the only ones that have it, and that's why we're very successful, is we can take those little vessels and we can open them up and start to water those nerves. It's literally like grass that hasn't had rain in a while. It wants to get wilty and brown. All you got to do is put the sprinkler to it. So we're putting the sprinkler to those nerves to get them to come back to life, and that is exactly how we've been able to help over 14,000 people. But we have other technologies too that actually aid in that. We have one that can actually stimulate those nerves to actually get them to work. I like to say it's like a PT or taking your nerves to the gym to help re-educate them how to fire again. We also have a technology that's super cool. Opening the blood vessels is the most important part. That allows your body to start to do what it's designed to do and fix it. But if we can improve it, if I can go over to that sprinkler nozzle and turn it up and get more water to it, guess what? We get more oxygen and nutrients. We have a technology that can literally, from your head to your feet, increase your microvessel flow, sometimes up to 50% more.
Nice, making a difference every day, huh?
It is. It's fun. And the technology is only, we've got the best of the best on the market, and we've helped a lot of people with it.
All right. Well, listen, we'll see you in July. Until then, have a great first month of summer, okay?
Hey, it's about time.
It is. All right. Let me remind everyone, we got the seminar a week from tomorrow, Monday, June 9th. It's free. It's at the Wexford office, 2100 Georgetown Road in Swickley. That's the mailing address. Very easy to get to. GPS it, Google it. You'll find it. Put it in your maps or, hey, pick up and they'll talk to you on the phone and get you exactly all the information that you need during business hours. Now, it is a free event. You can register, and you need to reserve your seat by going to their website, MaryDanston.com, MaryDanston.com. And remember, first consultation, examination, treatment is free, and you can also register for that seminar. If you call today, say, I want to be at the seminar, or I want that first Consultation, examination, and treatment free. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. 724-940-9000. And if you know someone dealing with neuropathy, tell them there's hope. 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers.
The proceeding was paid for by Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Information on the program was intended solely to further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard in the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
This could be one of the biggest economic in the history of the region. Mayor of West Mifflin, Chris Kelly.
Well, as our dear friend used to say, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I actually shed a few tears. I felt such relief for the family. And I thank you for your continued support on this. As the people learned more about it, they got on. And that's thanks to people like you and your station.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And at retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 50 degrees now, Pittsburgh International at 10 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe on Saturday in Ohio. New Sewickley Township Police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing on Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road. Saturday, she was found, though, in the Central Ohio area safe. New Sewickley Police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident. No further details were given. Well, 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday that resulted in an officer being bitten by a pit bull dog. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. Saturday for a disturbance when a dog bit the officer in the leg. That officer fired one shot at the dog, striking the dog. The dog was taken to a veterinarian in Monroeville, and the officer was taken to a local hospital. The dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, the FDA has approved the new COVID-19 vaccine made by Moderna, not a replacement shot, but a second option for all adults ages 65 and older, and for people 12 to 64 who have at least one health condition that puts them at increased risk from the coronavirus. Dr. William Schaffner is a professor of infectious diseases at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville.
This vaccine can be a lower dose because it's been more refined. It focuses more on the important parts of the virus that our body responds to and provides protection against COVID. It's a way vaccine scientists have updated the vaccine, have improved it to make it better for all of us.
News of the planned partnership between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel, which was announced and backed by President Trump, still reverberating around the region. Jason Ritchie is the chair of the Allegheny County Republican Committee. He joined KDKA Radio's Rob Pratt this morning.
Yeah, I think this is the greatest economic news that Pittsburgh's had in decades. People need to realize that this could create in our area 12,000 new jobs. We're talking about $3.5 billion to revitalize the Mon works.
Trump said there would be no layoffs. Workers would each get a $5,000